Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah, yeah. Let's go and crank it up, man. I mean, sometimes, back in the day, y'all, I had a box Chevy. You know what I'm saying? I had like 1985 box Chevy, and when the weather was bad, right, you just had to go outside and let that thing idle for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Don't be in the garage because then you just be inhaling all kind of carbon monoxide. But basically, that's what we're gonna do, man. It's the in the hoop from Rec Room Sports. Y'all know this is the basketball show. We do it on Fridays. We get live right here at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And then over there on Bobby's side of the world, it's about what, like 7:10, Bobby?
7-Eleven.
About
Shake 'em
7:11.
up.
Yeah, yeah. So we gonna do it like we always do, man. It's crazy because some really interesting things have been happening in the world of sports and entertainment in the last couple of days. And we're not gonna name drop, but somebody who's got a famous daddy just went to jail. Uh, and it's all on tape. It's all on YouTube. You can go look it up. I'm sure if you look at your feet and on you look at Jay's shirt, maybe you'll get no, not Jay's shirt. Well, he played against who's on Jay's shirt. Anyway, so here's the warm up, right? Cold open. Tell me about a night that could have ended badly had you been seen by the wrong person. Now, wrong person is in quotations, so the wrong person could be anybody. Young buck, Alan, what's up, man? You got a story? It don't got to be long. Just time somebody you should have been out.
Well, I mean, don't really have a story, but everybody knows that with my Hispanic heritage, so I'm usually seen by the wrong person. I'm probably in another country within the next 5 hours. So, uh, the thankfully, I'm only half, so that means I only get to go to El Paso. That's it. Uh, they won't send me farther than that. But other than that, um, that's a joke. If anybody's watching and gets offended by that,
I no,
so
I got
just
it.
want to throw that out.
Right.
But
And
most of the time, it's for me. It was usually definitely with my parents uh, not being home. What is the old adage when we were kids? Even I experienced this early in my life, where if that street light comes on, you better get your ass home. Is basically what I'm saying.
yeah, definitely,
So
definitely.
so, so
Yeah.
I got to experience the tail end of that cycle when I was growing up. So
Literally
yeah,
the
those
tail.
were fun days.
Right, right.
Literally the tail end. Yeah, definitely.
Man, fellas, Bobby, Jay, what I'm saying? Thanks for coming on the show again, of course, man. Jay, you got a good one. Without too many details. You know what I'm saying?
Um, I'm gonna go ahead and go with how Allen took it. Um, I go with I guess one day I was not I was in an atmosphere where alcohol was involved,
Mm-hmm.
peer pressure, out with some
Mm-hmm.
fellas.
Right.
Um, basically some women,
Okay.
girls. Nice little Friday night deal. Don't know how I got there. I think we got a ride there. Cannot remember. But basically, long story short, parents came home. They left a bag of alcohol in the garage, and parents came home, and first thing they walked, say, "Hey, what's in the bag? Let's go. What you got?" And we were in the woods. They actually lived by a pond and
Wow.
some woods, and I heard them yell out names and kind of telling the whole story. We were the only black people there. Me and my friend and uh one other Caucasian guy, and we took off in the woods, and I was probably less than 2 miles from home, and it took me all night to get home because we kept walking around in basically in circles. Um and Yeah, so just like Allen, I'm gonna take with Allen. And another quick one, it was another story where I was at my kitchen table and basically uh I don't know how this conversation came up in my kitchen, but about being a stripper and the pros and
Whoa.
cons to being a stripper. And I'm wondering, why am I talking to somebody's daughter, you know what I'm saying, about becoming a stripper? And basically, in her words, telling her, trying to explain that's not what you want to do, she
Mm.
said, Jay, tell her, you know about all that stuff. Tell her.
Whoa.
And I was like, what? You know, throw me under the bus. So
Crazy.
thank you. Thank you for that. That didn't work out, but
Bobby, man, you live okay. So we know you rep the land, but you currently live in Vegas. So you probably got a story from when either you was in the armed forces or maybe in Cleveland. Like which one? What's a good one?
I'm gonna go with you. I had in my mind I was gonna talk about the night I became a man, but that's yeah. I'll go with something else. I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna go with the night that I actually did run into the wrong people. So I was like how old was I? 18, 17, 18. And my homeboy, he had got involved in a hit and run accident. He was 16. He had no license. Bro, we thought he was about to catch some years.
What?
So yeah, before he went to court, we wanted to throw him a little party. So we had a little store that was like about 5 blocks down from the crib. It was the only store that wouldn't card at the time.
Mm.
So I go down there, grab a couple bottles of Hennessy, a couple of Deuce bottles of Old Gold. Shout out to my people that know what I'm talking about. And brown bag, and I got my brown bag, and I walk out the store, and I see them people across the street, and I'm like hoping they didn't see me, so like I kind of dip back in the store real quick, and then I watched them, like, because they were at a light. I watched them turn the corner. I'm like, all right, cool, they go. So I come out the store, man. This fool then like turned the corner, went down, and busted the U to get back on the right side. Right, caught me right in the parking lot, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, damn.
Man.
Go home and celebrate this dude, because he might be getting, and I'm about to get arrested.
Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one there.
But he got me. He's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Yo, man." I told him the situation. Yeah, we just having a party with my homie. Everybody was doing something, so I figured, hey, I'll pick up the drinks out of the eye. And basically, he just made me pour it out and let me go. So
that's a good one right there, man.
Yeah, just a little bit, and it was a white cop, so just let everybody know, they're not all trying to gun us down. So.
Right. Shout out to that white cop, wherever he may be.
Yeah,
wherever he may be. And I'll go last, man. So Jay and I are from a similar, right around the corner from each other. And at one point in time, Jay was like one of our best good friends, and I was trying to be a promoter and a DJ. And Jay called me and my other cool friends, and he said, "Hey, man, we're going to a local tavern. Let's call it a local tavern, which is not as local. It's kind of in the cut. It's far away from home. But this is where a lot of prominent gentlemen from my hometown go. That's where they go, because don't nobody go out there unless you know where it is exactly, right?" And I go, and me and my friends, we having a good time. We enjoying ourselves. And I'm underage at this time, I think. No, I might not even be underage. I might have been just. But then me and my friends, we got in, and I see Jay. I dab Jay up. Jay, what's up? Shot. You know what I'm saying? But then I turn around, and I saw my uncle. What the hell is he doing here? My uncle, he's rapping. He doing his thing, because there's women there. There are women there, and my uncle's enjoying handfuls of women at this time. Man, if he's in here, then boop, I go to the dance floor. I talk to our friend who's also a DJ. Shout out to DJ SD. I catch a glimpse of some glasses frame over in the corner. 6'5" tall guy just walked clean by me, and I did. Just so happens there's so much smoke and people. He just did, but he's so tall, he didn't even see it was me. And I looked over, man, and I realized who it was, man. And I had about like $75. My friends, the elbow me, hey man, is that? So I get a little closer. I had to duck behind one speaker. I looked up. There's my paternal figure right there, man. My father was in there, man. My dad. I threw all $75, man. I got my friends and I left out the building. Let's put it like that. Got all $75 I had in my hand. I was going to probably like take an hour to throw. I threw it all in his direction because he was enjoying himself. He was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pops. And I left. And to this day, I don't think he saw me. To this day. Unless he's watching right now. So you know what we gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and start the show. That's right, baby. You know what it is, man. In the Hoop Rec Room style. Let's get it. Yeah. That's right, man. It's Friday, man. It's a little after 10. It's about 10:21, 7:21 if you're on the West Coast. And we're about to get it in, man. That's what we do. It's Rec Room Sports presents In the Hoop, and this is what we do to basketball, ladies and gentlemen. On Tuesday nights, we pretty much cover everything around the sports world, especially this weekend where we're going into Super Bowl weekend in New Orleans, man. It's a big deal. You already know, man. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. But somehow, some way, the National Basketball Association found a way to steal headlines for about 3-4 days. Bomb after bomb after bomb. And it's no way that we can skim over it, ladies and gentlemen. We got to talk about it. But, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my people who in the building, man. You know how it goes, man. First of all, Jay, what's good with you, man? I appreciate you sharing with the people, man. How you feel?
Dang. First of all, man, you were not underage.
I was grown at the
time. Yeah. Let's get that straight. You were not underage, and I have no idea. I don't recollect any of that.
Yeah, all I know it was a bottle of 1800 by the stage, so I don't think you remember that. I don't think you do. Once again, man, we got to give a big shout out to our partner, man, from the land, but right now he is in Vegas. What up, Bobby G? What's going on? How was Audible tonight, bro?
Oh, it was good. It was good. We talked about a little bit trade deadline, a little bit of Super Bowl, and our second annual NFL honors presented by the Audible Sports Podcast. Gave out some awards. The trophies is in the mail, fellas.
Trophies is in the mail. That's what it is, man. And of course, man, we got to give a big shout out to our own homie. Of course, 2022, 2023, 25 most improved analyst. What's going on, Alan, man? How you feeling now? You good? You in the building?
Well, I had to hire my cameraman back for the 4th time this week because my damn internet doesn't work. But other than that, doing good.
All right, that's what's up, man. We appreciate you being in the building. We might have a guest drop in. Coach Joey, he working hard. He doing like 14-hour jobs like he always do. He may just pop in and, give us some analysis as well. But, man, we might as well go ahead and get right into it. I can't believe it. This was actually one of those weeks where so much what went on. We got to start from Sunday. So we might as well go ahead and jump that thing off, man. Hold on. Let's get to it. So 2 for 22. Just in case you don't know, last Sunday, it was a momentous occasion, man. Two of the pioneers. I don't want pioneers. Two superstars. Two pioneer superstars from the WNBA took it back to their collegiate ranks and got their jerseys retired. One, well-deserving, because she's got a statue outside the building, and one, maybe just a little bit early for her. But hey, it happened anyway. So we're talking about, of course, Caitlin Clark from Iowa. Okay, went back to her hometown as her team took on USC. And then speaking of USC, we got to talk about the University of South Carolina and Asia Wilson, who went back to have her jersey retired after she got a statue built out front of the Colonial Life Arena. And it's crazy because we're from the town, we're from South Carolina, Jay and myself, and it feels like it's still not enough props given to her because she continues to represent for South Carolinians, people growing up in the Met, which is great, even out there in Las Vegas. So it's pretty cool. And then after that, man, they had a basketball game. Iowa ended up winning up against USC, which is, of course, the Trojans, who is complete with Juju Watkins. And then the University of South Carolina beat Auburn by a score of 75-91. When it comes to these two jersey retirements, fellas, Iowa, of course, doing Caitlin Clark, and University of South Carolina doing Asia Wilson. Was this good timing, a case of good timing, or was at least, or was one of them just a little bit too early? What you guys thinking about that?
I think Caitlin was a little bit too early. I'm saying not deserved, but I think it was too early for the reasons that she's still hot from obviously her finish in college to her WNBA career. I think I would have let the world cool down again, especially since she plays basketball like right next door. Let her professional career kick off a little bit, kick off a little bit more, and then I would have done it like maybe a year or two down the road to kind of rekindle, rejuvenate.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like she was just in college yesterday, right? I mean, technically, she was just in college yesterday. Yeah, man. So, AP, when you think about the matchup, well, not the matchup, but them retiring the jersey. You still there, Alan? You just have to cut the camera off.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what we think
it's going to be better for me, unfortunately, because of all my internet issues and everything. It's going to be better for me to be off camera because I'm not going to be able to hold my phone in my hand for 2 hours. So
I got you, man. Save that bandwidth anyway. Save that bandwidth. We know what you look
limitations and the fact that I have extensive nerve pain in my arm. I can't do it. So, but to your question, yes, I do feel it was a little early. Maybe had Caitlin won a national title, maybe last year, maybe you could say that it was fitting to have it now. But I think I kind of agree with Bobby. I kind of want to see her have her career in the WNBA maybe a year or two more before you can say, oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do the statute now. Obviously, Asia Wilson, very, very much deserved for what she's done in the WNBA and what she did in college as well. So, Kaylin's probably a little too early, but maybe had she won, like I said, had she won a national title, maybe you could make an argument, make a case, and say, yeah, it now is an okay time. But I would say it's probably a little too early.
Jay, what about you, man? We in the same boat. Who's that?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Caitlin, I mean, give her a props. I think she deserves it for what she did to the school, what she did for the school. Um, I would imagine, you know, uh, someone of her stature, what she brought to the game. And if you probably look up Iowa uh, rafters, you know, I don't think there's very many up there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's not like Carolina where it's like I'm serious. Like I've been there and I mean you look up and it's just like, damn man, they really took the time to break it down like this. Jesus Christ. Like what did all these for again? And what are all those for again? And what are these? Okay, I get it. I get it. All right, bet. And that's like it's broken down. And for those who don't know, do your research. When it in Chapel Hill, the Dean Dome, uh, we pretty much have certain. I ain't gonna break it down. I'm sorry, it's a lot. But anyway,
go ahead, man. Go ahead. Break it. I want to hear it because you're not gonna be able to talk about Blazers for a while. So yeah, man, get this out. Let it out.
Hey, they
are
winning.
You sure? Are you
sure?
sure?
They winning a little bit.
Are you sure? I'm saying.
I'm positive.
Okay. All right. But just it's we have a lot of Raptors out. I have a lot of Raptors, obviously, with a lot of room for a lot of jerseys. But when it comes to Iowa, it's like, man, put it up there. Just put it up there. Come on, man. Who else?
Started.
There are a lot of available numbers, yo, when it comes to Iowa. So put it up there. As far as Asia, perfect timing. This is great for her. This is, it's always a winning moment for her. Just blessed. You know what I'm saying? not the most religious person, but you know how it works. You know what I'm saying? You put certain things first and it works. It works out for you, man. Asia is again 4 year All-American only athlete, period. South Carolina to do so. So uh, just that alone, uh, without speaking on the stats, without speaking on, um, the type of coaching that she's had, and everything. What she did, that alone, it's just proper for her to get her flowers when due at the time. You know, kind of sucks that she had to share it with somebody.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? If that's what everybody, I'm not saying anybody missed it, but it's just that's kind of big to me. Like, kind of like why, you know, like why, why you can't do that like next week or like, or I don't know, I have some questions about that, but hey, it is what it is. But nah, that's it. Didn't have to be. I didn't want to get into that, but nah, Caitlyn didn't have to have hers like the same weekend, man.
Same exact day, right?
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna leave it at that. But she deserved it. Put it up there, but damn, did it have to be the same weekend?
Right, right.
But where's
Jay
her
stole my
shoe?
thunder. Yeah. I said, where's the shoe?
That's
Jay
all
stole
I'm
my
asking.
thunder, man. 'Cause I was really, that was part of what I was going to say was why could it have been any other day? Could they have rescheduled it? Could they have picked another game, another home game for maybe Caitlin Clark to get hers retired? So that we could actually give our full attention to Asia Wilson, who is a multi-time WNBA MVP, multi-time champion. Somebody that has pretty much won on every level in which she has competed in the sport of basketball. And once again, I am not taking anything away from Caitlin Clark. The way that the game has shifted since her presence has been, announced, so to speak, in the world of collegiate women's basketball and professional women's basketball. It's like none other. You have to give it its respect. You have to give the moments their respect as well. And it's pretty cool to see, that Iowa thinks that highly of her. And of course, the fan base in and around women's basketball think that highly of her too, which is why I think it was a really big deal for Dawn Staley, championship winning coach Dawn Staley, who will be at USC, that's right, University of South Carolina, for so many more years, be interested and is technically the highest paid coach in basketball for women's sports right now. I think that's pretty dope. Dawn Staley gave her complete and 100% respect and props. You know what I mean? She told her pretty much that she is one of the goats from the game. And if Dawn Staley says that, then I gotta roll with it. I gotta put my stamp on it. But at the same time, fellas, man, there actually was a game going on. I think that's pretty cool. And I mentioned it last on Tuesday that sometimes when they have ceremonies like this is when the teams slack off and the visiting teams steal a win. But that didn't happen in either case when it comes to USC or Iowa, as we got a chance to see Iowa put up 76 points against University of Southern California. Everybody's got to keep an eye on Juju Watkins. Juju came out there and did her thing with 27 points. And somehow, some way, she didn't get the opportunity to pull her Lady Trojans to the finish line like she always does with her scoring ability. Crazy, right? But then one of the things that caught my eye from the highlights was a young lady from Iowa by the name of Lucy Olsen. She looked just about as good, if not better, than Caitlin Clark, and she dropped 28 out there that night. And I'm talking about 28 4. She got a couple of turnovers, of course. She got 3 steals. I don't know. The Iowa might have sparked some things by having Caitlin Clark, show up and show out. And now, we might have the revolution of mid Western players, instead of going further away, coming to Iowa to build their legacy behind Caitlin Clark. And then at the same time, when we look at the Carolina girls, we already know they got an opportunity to play up against Auburn. They took that opportunity, smashed that by the tune of 83-66. And it looks as though having that many All-Americans on one team is going to be hell for any of the competition in the NCAA right now. As we look, as you look around the stats from what's been going on now, just as far as what we've seen so far in the WNBA as well, both of these teams that they represent, being the Fever and the Las Vegas Aces, got a lot to look forward to. Jay, I remember you mentioned there being a little bit of a bit of a lull when it came to free agency with the women, but I think you was the one that brought to my attention what's going on with the Fever and the moves they made. Is that right?
Yeah, again, when we talked about Aaliyah Boston and the Caitlin Clark, and then the Fever, like how they looked early in the season last season. They didn't really adapt well to Caitlin Clark's style of play. Kind of threw the coach under the bus. At the end of the day, um, it took a little longer than people would have thought. For things to kind of take off for Caitlin Clark, but uh, they caught on. The
Mhm.
chemistry got better, and now when you add people like Bonner, and then just kind of build the team around Bonner is just alongside Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. I'm really looking forward to that. I want to see how this flows. Um, we'll see what happens. I'm excited, but Aaliyah Boston, I don't know. I just that without Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston and Bonner beside each other, I'm more interested in seeing how that works. You know what I'm saying? But Caitlin Clark gonna do her thing. Let's see what happens. This is gonna be a very competitive league. Hopefully a very competitive, what I'm saying, season as far as like there are no top heavy, as far as the standings. Let's see what
Mhm.
happens, man. Hopefully the unrivaled thing also sets off something. But yeah, I like what they're doing. I like what a lot of teams are doing. Kind of got to pay attention to, what I'm saying, how these rookies are going to affect. This is another thing that I talked about it being publicized. We'll see because I'm not about poo poo the W right now. That's not the
Right,
right thing
right.
to do. But
Yeah.
you see these certain shows as far as the like they have on NBA TV, like going into the season, like the preseason, look in all the teams and stuff like that. I want to see that. I want to see a little bit more of that so we can get familiar with these rookies that have been drafted because some of these draft rookies, kind of fell off, our mind, what I'm saying is if, when it comes to, mid-level to lower and then also these international players, what I'm
Hmm.
saying from France and I think I forgot, this other girl from shoot. See, here we are from Brazil. That came in. I think Brazil. I'm gonna look that up. But the whole thing about it is effectively, I'm not gonna take any long. When you look at these players, let's bring it up more. Let's talk about it. Let's get everybody familiar with what's going on. Let's get everybody amped up because when you look at how this free agency was treated, and like I said, show me something. Maybe I'm wrong, but like show me an event. How it was publicized and when Brittany Griner side went Atlanta, it was like what?
Hmm.
How,
That's a
wait a minute, what?
that's a great example.
And it's like when people are responding the way they did, something's wrong. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Right, right. Bobby G, man, you out there in Vegas. Vegas also made some major moves, kind of doing a little bit of retooling as I would think. How you feel about what's going on thus far out there in the land of the Aces, big dog?
Heartbroken.
Mm.
Oh
Still
man.
upset. I'm
Hold on,
still
hold on,
upset
wait,
about
Bobby. Let me put the music on for you.
Hold on, man. Why are we heartbroken, man? Tell us, Bobby.
it.
Oh yeah, the piano played out. Go ahead, say it again. Tell us.
Yeah, they traded my future ex away, And I mean, I get it. It's a financial move, but from a game plan standpoint, I don't like. We have Asia. She's the most dominant inside player in the league. You surround that type of player with shooting, and we traded her for. Yes, she's a scorer, but she doesn't have the best shot from outside. So we're gonna clog the paint. So I'm interested to see how that works. But most importantly, from a free agent standpoint, I'm really looking at something that's not happening, and that's Kennedy Carter is still a free agent.
Ooh, Kennedy
For,
Carter.
for those that don't know, Kennedy Carter or don't remember, Kennedy Carter was kind of the poster child for the anti-Caitlin Clark thing going on early last season. You remember the hard foul that she delivered off the ball to Caitlin Clark that kind of kickstarted that whole is Caitlin being treated unfair? Well,
What?
now there's questions being raised about is she being blackballed by the WNBA? She's a terrific player. But now I think she kind of has the reputation to kind of the WNBA's version of Draymond Green or Isaiah Stewart. And that's it. She's a terrific player. She might be the fastest player in the league with the basketball. She gets a basket at will, decent mid-range game, solid player. I think she averaged 20 over 20 points a game last season, if I'm not mistaken. A player like that with those attributes and that type of potential, still a free agent. One can only point to her on the court and off the court issues. So I'd like to see where she lands. I think that's a big free agent story right now for me.
Man, you hit the nail on the head with that one. AP, man, sign us off with this one. So Aces, Fever, which one do you see having the more effect on their roster, as we've discussed it more than once?
It's hard for me to figure that out. I know it did catch a lot of buzz as we've been talking about. It kind of started with Brittany Griner going to Atlanta. And then all of it just kind of spiraled into the craziness that it was. I like some of the moves that Indiana did to get some more bodies in there. Definitely help out Caitlin Clark. I was a little. I'm kind of with Bobby on the move that Vegas made. I was kind of wondering, are they going to go to a different style now, or why do they not just stay with what works? But you know, and again, and that's the fun part of it is that even with all these moves made, it gets us talking about it. It gets us speculating. What we could see out of the WNBA this year, and I think that's what they were trying to do. And if you continue to market the league kind of like how you're doing with free agency and all that good stuff, it's only going up from here for WNBA. Plus, Jay mentioned it earlier with the other leagues coming up and getting a lot of attention. Again, it's only going to give you more eyes on the product, which is a good thing for the WNBA. So I'm kind of excited to see where this goes to.
Yeah, man, definitely. You guys have made a great point. Go ahead, Jay. What you got?
Question: y'all don't think it was something personal involved with the Aces? Y'all talking because y'all talking about Plum, right?
Yeah, that's the fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So I was looking at the interview that she did on Sports Center. I think was that last night before last, and it was Asia Wilson, and they were asking her about them adding Jewel Lloyd, and how she kind of referred to Jewel Lloyd as being a dog, and I wish I knew it like verbatim, word for word how she actually said it, but he was talking about her being a dog, and he kind of went into something that kind of like made me kind of raise my eyebrows while she was explaining the situation. And not one time did she say, about them missing Kelsey Plum and, with her absence. And I don't know, I'm not saying that there would have been it wasn't politically correct how she said it, but it did quite sound like Kelsey Plum was wanted, You know what I'm saying? At all costs.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it was more of a problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just had me thinking. I didn't think about it. I wondered when Bobby, I was thinking the way that you were talking when the move was made. But then when she talked about it, I was like, damn, like she didn't even say like, we definitely gonna miss Kelsey and what she provided to the team and all that. But it was more like, yeah, like Drew Lloyd is a dog. That's what we need around here. And I was like,
Mm.
and it was kind of like more of like, yeah. So I'm not saying or speculating, but it's kind of made me ask some questions because it's like, okay, all right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how that works out. Let's see, like when this game comes about, and see, how competitive they are and how things go. Like let's see how that turns out, and then kind of bring it to life.
Oh man, that's crazy. Y'all made some great points about this one, man. In real time, I think it kind of just, and we'll get into some of the trades for the NBA that actually works both ways. I think it'll help both situations out. Kelsey Plum, if y'all don't remember, at one point in time was Caitlin Clark. Did have the NCAA scoring title. I think taking her away from Asia and putting her with the LA Sparks is kind of giving her that room to be the point guard and the scoring guard that she was in college. And then what I'm saying, Jewel Lloyd, yes, dog, most definitely. Somebody who's known for getting into the paint, who's known for saying using her quickness with the ball and her handle to execute on anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I like it personally because I think because of the way that they were playing through Asia, it stifled Kelsey Plum just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to play a certain way when you got that kind of star. Now, will they make Jewel Lloyd kind of acquiesce to that? I don't know, but in real life, when you look at the list, the roster right now, I mean, it's still pretty stout. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got Asia, you still got Jackie Young. You still got the point guard. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You still got the point guard on the team. You got Jewel Lloyd. It's hard to look at, especially like I said, with Chelsea Gray still being the person that she was, one of the leaders on the team. I don't think there was as much of a drop off. You know what I'm saying? We'll see, but I don't think that there's very much of a drop off. And Jay, I heard this from like maybe mid-season last year. She Kelsey Plum had a very public breakup with tight end Darren Waller from New York. And
Mm-hmm.
Darren Waller pretty much went on
Crashed out
right. Darren Waller pretty much went on every media
emotionally.
platform that he could to explain how toxic or how deep their relationship was and how messed up he was. Maybe that same effect happened to Kelsey. And we don't know how it affected the team chemistry. So because of that, hey, we need to remove that from the team from the locker room because he was over down and crying, and we was trying to get this championship, but you weren't about old Darren Waller. You know what I'm saying? Putting you in a corner mentally, with issues. So I'm only speculating. You know what I'm saying? But either way, let's cap it off like this. I wish all of these women the best. I can't wait until the WNBA starts up. Our good friend Ava from Rec Room Sports is always watching, always keeping an eye on all the women's sports. So I can't wait till she gets more to discuss with us as the WNBA season continues, man. But hey, coming up next, you know how we do. We got to keep it moving. One of our favorite things to talk about recently, for sure, has been the growth of the game in college. NIL has transformed everything, and then on top of that, the transfer portal has made it even more accessible for players to be who they are and choose, their destiny. It's kind of like playing Mortal Kombat. Y'all remember Mortal Kombat, and you get to pick how tall the tier was, how many people you got to kill before you get to Shang Tsung. You get to do that now in college, and on the back end, instead of getting extra lives, you get to put some money in your pocket. And right now we're getting closer and closer to I know one of Jay's favorite times of the year, man. It's we get ready for March Madness, bro. It's really happening. It's around the corner. It's the month of February right now. Of course, it's Black History Month, and we know pretty much when that gets down to the wire, because February only got like 28 days in it. We gonna get ready for tournament time. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at some interesting developments from the game that we know best, man. Men's and women's collegiate basketball. It's crazy, right? Because as we look at the top 25, and that's what we're pretty much going to discuss, fellas. It's not the usual suspects on top, bro. It's a little different now, and I think that is attributed to what's been going on with the NIL deals, with the transfer portals. It's not safe no more. Nobody is safe. You know what I'm saying? The basketball power index pretty much is correct, if I'm not mistaken, especially in the men's bracket. So when we think about that, fellas, especially you, Jay, being a avid North Carolina Tar Heel fan who's probably feeling a little bit of that letdown from this season, with the transfer portal affecting you and NIL affecting you for sure. Like, how do you feel about March Madness approaching and your team's position in that?
No, I'm cool with everything being it's a level playing field and money levels just about any playing field. Well, it's in a lot of situations it'll cause a monopoly in sports in some cases. You used to have in this case, now that we're talking about, amateur / professional sports,
I like how
compared
you
to
put that flash in there.
full professional sports, it's like, you put some owners actually have more money than others. You know what I'm saying? So they are willing to pay more of a luxury tax. So it's, some things work out. They kind of work some things out, give a little cash here and there, spread out the contracts, whatever. But like in college, the playing field is level where any school with money can put their self in the top 25. It's just that simple. I looked at BYU the other day, speaking of which, and y'all know,
I know where you're going with this one.
I looked at BYU, dog, and I was like, yo, BYU looks like the rest of the Bel Air Academy team, other than Will, bro, like for real.
Oh, they getting Will next season, right? That's what they're getting Will.
Yeah, they're getting Will next season.
I mean, and with which Bel Air Academy though? You talking about Fresh Prince Bel Air Academy or Bel Air Academy? Because that Bel Air squad,
I'm talking
they
about
had some
the
hoopers.
first. No, I'm talking about the first Bel Air.
The Fresh
Academy
Prince.
squad.
Okay.
Yes, Fresh Prince Bel Air Academy squad. And yeah,
Do you ever think we go into a Fresh Prince reference on this show?
It's very fitting. I like how Jay threw that in there. It's very fitting.
nah, they serious look like the Bel Air Academy team without Will. Seriously. And that again, that makes you think. But again, any school with money can put themselves, it's a little bit of both parity and money. You actually can get, more talented players to smaller schools to give, the smaller schools a chance. You know what I'm saying? You got St. John's at 12, man. Like that's beautiful for college basketball. Having St. John's at 12. You know, you talk about your Marquettes, you talk about your I mean, even Houston. And of course, at number 2, you know, that's a blue blood. But
Who is it?
It's very blue.
I haven't seen the rankings in a while. What university is it?
Who's
what you talking about, man?
Number 2 team in the country. I haven't seen the rankings. Who's number 2?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I would imagine.
the team is blue.
I would imagine it's a blue blood. I would think. I think the number one team isn't maybe, and the number two could be, But no, I'm just you see some familiar teams. It's just not. These are not Allen St. John's. You know what I'm saying? Teams. You know what I mean? These are more like our St. John teams. You know what I'm saying? They're more like, you know what I'm saying?
Let's say
our
I remember
elders.
St. John's being pretty good in the early 2000s for sure. Like anytime watching March Madness, they always came up in conversation. So
Yeah, I got you, but nah. Our Saint, you know what I'm saying? Like our
Big
pops and
East.
uncles, Saint John, yeah, the Big
the,
East Saint
Yeah.
John's
Those,
back in the
the
day
old
with
school Big East.
the Chris Mullen team, the who else
Mark
went to St.
Jackson.
John's, the Mark Jackson team. I mean, which is about the same team, but
Yeah.
those guys, kind of paved the way, of what they were back then. The Big East St. John's, the Marquettes. Even though they weren't the Big East. Marquette back in the day. No,
Marquette.
no,
Uh,
no.
no.
No, but they were there. You know what I mean? They were always in the mix somehow in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? They always did something. We will talk about that later, Alan. But you know what I'm saying? As far as what we see in the top 25, it's all about money. The teams that can put the money out there, can put themselves out there, they can get more talented players to help some of these schools that didn't really have a chance back in the day when they all went to the same blue blood schools. And that's about it.
Oh man.
yeah, Allen, man. When it
Oh,
goes, when it comes to you, you're an Oklahoma guy through and through, and right now Oklahoma's might not be making any noise in collegiate basketball, but of course you keep your eye on things, right? I mean, what's your standpoint on the March Madness picture coming into view in a few weeks?
I mean, basketball isn't our strong suit. That's a given at this point. Um, as of right now, we're projected to be a tournament team, like no last four in BS like it has been the last 4 years. As long as there's not a random ACC team that probably didn't belong in the tournament last year, but we're not going to get into that stealing our spot. But we won't get into that, like I said. Good, good to know finally why Auburn can't produce a good football team because all their money is going to their basketball program. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Duke's been there, done that. Number 2 team in the country. In case anybody didn't know, you know, and, and it's kind of funny seeing Houston. They have a little bit of a history, but the biggest surprise to me out of every team in the top 25 is not only seeing how much Kansas has kind of fallen off a little bit this year, but how good has Iowa State been? How good has Iowa State been the
Dangerous.
last couple of years? This is nobody really saw this team coming the last few years. They just kind of popped up out of nowhere, and they've been making a lot of history at Iowa State this year. I mean, first time that they've won 10 games in college football. First time, I want to say just the third time that they've ever been in the Big 12 championship game. Something along those lines. Basketball, they crushed a lot of school records last year on their way to making a deep tournament run. And, they're a perquisite favorite to maybe steal one of those number 1 seeds if they continue to play well. So don't sleep on Iowa State. Kansas is kind of falling off a little bit, but you never know what could happen come tournament time with them. I still follow Big 12 mostly, but with us now in the SEC, you're going to see a lot of SEC teams make that tournament. You're going to get a few that probably won't make it. South Carolina is probably going to be one of them. Sorry, guys, but the one, you're going to see like Jay kind of mentioned. the money that the SEC has garnered is gotten them a lot of the talent in college basketball. So that's why they've been able to kind of even the playing field with some of the the basketball blue bloods that are out there, like Kansas, like Duke, like all the Big East teams that have been good from back in the day. So yeah, money talks, and right now the money is in the SEC, unfortunately.
Right.
Alan, before Bobby, my fault, Bobby.
No, you good.
Alan, now, you make a good point about Iowa State, but since you mentioned Iowa State, let me tell you the thing about Iowa State, Alan. That's where another thing money can help, because of Iowa State is a notorious. You can go back to freaking Harrison Barnes, freaking Marcus Page. You can go back to shoot. If they had a chance, they could have got Tyler Hansbrough if they wanted, probably. You know what I'm saying? But money can help a team like Iowa State keep a lot of the guys in their yard instead of going and making another team, strengthening another blue blood. You know what I'm saying? So
Especially if you return a lot of the starters from the previous year, which is what the reason why you see most of these SEC teams, it's guys that are coming into the transfer portal, but some of these other teams, like a St. John's, like an Iowa State, like a Texas Tech, for example, these guys have all 5 starters coming back. These guys have played together, they've been together. That's a reason why they're so tough to beat in these certain cases, is because they know each other so well. They can play with each other so well that it's kind of an advantage for them in some cases. Why you could potentially see a lot of upsets in the tournament this year.
oh, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, Bobby G, man. As you cap this off, there's a particular player who I know we want to talk about one last time on the show. Who would we be reckoning about and turning the college world upside down at the moment?
Me? Oh, I'm not. Nah, that dude. We know what he gonna do.
We know it.
If there's a player that I would talk about today, it'd probably be Ace Bailey.
Mm-hmm. That's why that's the only player I know.
Hey, that dude is getting the job done. I mean,
okay.
To me, I know Cooper's the one. He's got the name recognition. He's he's been in the public eye for years now. But I would not be mad at the team if they want to take Ace Bailey over Cooper. That's all I'm saying. But something that surprises me about the top 25, currently there is, and it may well finish this way in the season, there is 0 mid-majors in the top 25. None. There's not a Gonzaga. There's not a St. Mary's. There's not a Duquesne. There's no mid-majors.
And Gonzaga normally comes out the bushes eventually. So
yeah, there may not be like all blue bloods, but every single college they're up there is like reputable for something. And I don't think it's the NIL that's so much affecting. I think it's the combination of the NIL and one and done. In football, the major difference is you see these guys getting all this NIL money to go wherever, but I know I got you for 3 years. You see what I'm saying? And in basketball, it ain't like that. Like, you trying to get these dudes for 1 year. So we see these kids getting this exorbitant amount of money to come in for 1 year. I think once the NBA removes the one and done rule, and you see the select few, let's say about maybe 10 to 15 players that'll elect to go pro instead of going to college, you'll see that NIL money come down. You'll see schools, you'll see schools adjust like they did in the past, where, all right, you got these guys going pro. These guys are going to get that leftover, that NIL money that they didn't get. So we're going to go after this group right here, these lower level 5 stars, these 4 stars. And you'll see the mid majors and stuff put together teams again and get more competitive. That's how they got invited to the party in the first place. They didn't have name recognition, but they had teams. Like Gonzaga built a program over the last 20, 30 years. St. Mary's built a program while the blue bloods are getting these one and dones. So I think you'll see that come back once that rule. But for the moment, yeah, I agree with Jay. Like that movement and guys going like, come on now, BYU. I picked BYU and
Put
say
the hat on public TV.
Right, it ain't had nothing to do with money. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is making things more interesting. I'll tell you that.
I got you, man. For
I
sure.
was say speaking of mid majors, never mess with Oral Roberts. That's something I know from experience.
Right.
ORU, man. I didn't even know they were from Oklahoma for the longest time, honestly. So
they out there by you. You don't even know about Oral Roberts, man.
You drive by
yeah, they're like right on like the south side of Tulsa too, which is like the areas you don't visit. So
okay, they in the hood. Okay, shout out to Oral Roberts, man. We're gonna pay a visit to the campus, man. And show y'all some love. But you know what I'm saying? I think I made some really great points about that one in real life. As I sat back and looked at it, I was like, you know what? This is one of those times where we start seeing those mid majors, like Bobby mentioned, show up in the brackets. The St. Bonaventures, you know what I'm saying? Just like you said, Gonzaga pops up somewhere. I'm wondering where like St. Joseph's is. You know, when the brackets get put out, you know, that's when we will get to see some interesting. And then, of course, you know, one of those things that I know just for college basketball's sake, when the brackets get put out, the coaches who are great start showing up. You said Kansas. I don't know anything about Kansas' squad right now, but I know Bill Self ain't playing. Okay, Bill Self is a great coach in college basketball. Somehow, some way, he gets those men to pull themselves together by their shoestrings, and the tournament turns into a time in which they ride the wave, and it's made for coaches in the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Which is how we get so many of these names to get switched up the year after they get to, you know, the round of 16 or, you know, whatever. But I'm excited, man. It's the middle of February right now. We're getting closer to March, and March Madness is one of those great times of the year. And we didn't really talk much about the women's, but we're gonna keep it rolling. So you know how it goes, man, with the women's, man. Hey, look, UCLA is right at the top. University of South Carolina is right there. Notre Dame is doing that thing. You know how it goes. So like top 10-ish for the women. It is very similar to where it's not as top heavy, full of blue bloods as it usually is. And I think this is also a reflection of NIL and the portal affecting the women's game as well. But I digress, man. We're getting closer to the top of that first hour. One time for everybody in the building, one time for everybody in the chat, one time for everybody watching on IG right now. So what's going on, Sonny Bay? What's going on, Big Willie Reed? What's going on, Drill Sergeant Dan? That's my boy, April 13th. You know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to you, everybody right now on X and Facebook checking in. We want to make sure that you know this is the Rec Room. This is In the Hoop, and we do this each and every Friday right here at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then over there on the West Coast where Bobby's at, we do it at 7. We got my boy Jay on the MIC. Jay, what's really good? You still here? You hanging? We good?
Hey, Bobby, man, you're going to take that back. I'm telling you, man, you're going to take it back. You're going to take it back.
I know. I'm doing you a favor. I'm giving you the same energy. See, I figured it out. See, all that negative energy you give the cat, you know, negatives and positive connect, right? They attract. See, all that negative energy that you've been giving the Cavs, you're the reason why we're so good. So thank you. Remember last year we were having the conversation and you said nobody outside of Cleveland knew who Evan Mobley was. Now he's an all-star. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for the negative energy. Keep it coming.
Better than Jaren Jackson.
It doesn't matter. He's an all-star. They're both all-stars. They are in the same all-star game. They're in the same all-star game.
Keep taking it out of context.
I'm not taking it. I welcome.
We'll
keep
see.
it coming.
We'll see.
Keep the negative energy coming. Keep it coming.
Let's put a bet
one time for Bikins, man. Nick Bikins would do, man. My guy got me on his show on Wednesdays. We do head kicks and haymakers, where we're going to talk about everything when it comes to combat sports. Oh, we got UFC this weekend. Make sure you check it out Saturday. We're going to be reviewing that on Wednesday. Bikins would do. It's
Hey,
crazy.
it could have been worse, Jay. He could have picked Miami. He could have picked the U. They're
Huh?
not doing so hot this year, are they?
No, we're both fans of
Man,
the U though.
yeah.
Nah. See, it's not that y'all don't understand. I don't have anything against Evan Mobley. I was just saying that he got to step it up. Like he has to step it up.
Exactly.
That's all I
You
was
see, you're
saying.
not understanding what I'm saying.
Fellas,
Your
fellas, fellas,
negativity led to, and now he's an all-star. So give him some more motivation.
What did you expect? He wasn't gonna be one.
oh man, fellas,
Never.
we gonna get to Evan Mobley and some of that All Star talk, especially this coming week. We're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. We got a lot going on, so this is the second hour. We're gonna make sure we cover a little bit of everything. So give me 1 second as we lock in for this one. Now, somehow, some way, man, the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, but there has been one person at the center of all of that attention recently, man. All of that attention. And it's crazy because if you didn't know his name before, you got to know it by now. And
Ben
somehow, some way,
Simmons.
Ben Simmons. It's funny
Yeah.
because we was talking, we was having conversations, and then all of a sudden everybody's phone started going off. We all get notifications, and I was like, his account must have gotten hacked. Ain't no way what he talk about is true right now. And if if you haven't been living under a rock, or if you have, what we're talking about right now is the big homie, one and only Shams Charania. That's right, Shams is out here living his best life when it comes to reporting breaking news in the NBA as far as the trade deadline is concerned. And if you don't know, we're gonna give you a little background on him. So, of course. He's been a sports reporter for ESPN, where he covers the NBA. He's worked with the Athletic, Stadium, and FanDuel. And somehow, some way, he got his start working with Yahoo Sports, and then at that same time began to work behind Adrian Wojnarowski. Of course, everybody knows Woj when it used to be the Woj bombs from ESPN. And then as they began to scoop each other, there was a little bit of underlying beef between Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams, but of course, it's more so the younger, more in tune with the players and executives, seems to be holding his own right now. So shouts out to Shams, as this past week he has proven his salt as he has broken trade after trade after trade on live TV. I don't know if that man even goes to sleep with the time periods that these trades were coming out that he was announcing and breaking on live television. And I don't know what coast he's on. So it's quite possible that he was up for 14, 15, 16 hours just about
Would
every
you?
day.
Man, bump Shams.
I would be on Sunset Boulevard getting it in with my phone in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like if I had all that on the line and his reputation and how it started. Remember we were talking about that, and I'm sorry to just take it from you like that. I didn't
No,
mean to,
no,
but you made a great point. And like, can you imagine being in that position where remember how it started out with Pat Riley? If
mm,
Pat Riley was, or if he was wrong about the situation, the whole Jimmy Butler situation, right? And Pat Riley pretty much chumped him, you know what I'm saying? And said, "Hey, man, these people don't know what they're talking about, blah, blah, blah." That would have really hurt his reputation.
for sure.
But it kind of took its it kind of took a turn and things started coming out and he turned out to be right. And, you know, Pat Riley would never, apologize to him or anything if he had any type of negative feeling towards it. But if this would have happened and he really would have got his phone hacked,
Mm-hmm.
we would have lost all trust in him from that point on. Anytime Shan was say, "What, man, whatever, man.
Yeah, don't pay no attention, right?
Let's pay no attention to that. Wait till something else comes across." So he got his moment of glory, and when you say moment, it actually lasted like 3 days or
Yeah,
more.
for
So
sure.
like, but would you go to sleep if you were in that situation? You know what I'm saying? I would go to like Walgreens. I would go to Walgreens quick and like, what can I take that's gonna keep me up for like 3 days?
Got that no doubles.
If I
As a
had
truck
all that
driver,
on
Jay,
lock,
you never experimented with any of the the stuff to keep you up. You a night owl anyway.
yeah, 5-hour energies and even coffee, but 5-hour energies. I'm not a coffee drinker, and I turned into one, but 5-hour energies. I don't. That's my whatever, fill in the blank, whatever
Yeah,
you and I don't take, like, I don't take medication. A lot of things I don't do. Some things I do. A lot of things I don't do. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And
Fill in the blank.
uh so yeah, like I when I dope up on medication, I'm gone. Like, I'll call people like I'll never get like this again. So I take advantage of it and call people up like, yeah, hey man.
Yeah, don't you ever call me with that pervy voice?
Yo,
Yeah, Jay. Yo, if y'all ever see Jay call you, he got that voice on. We know what time it is, man. We know what's
wow.
going on. So check this out, man. What we were gonna do, you know what I'm saying, and we're gonna let everybody pretty much get their their opinion off of it was, Shams Charania had an interesting week in sports reporting, right? Pretty much, I would assume that even though we got the news on Sunday, that it really probably started on Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you describe that type of action from pole to pole? What would basically be a way that you would describe that type of action from Sunday to Thursday at 4 p.m. live in full effect? Like, how would you describe that? Bobby, let's go with you first, bro.
First off, bump Shams. Yeah, you heard me. Well, first let me holler. Bikens, it ain't impossible. It ain't impossible. So, but yeah, back to Sean's bump Sean's. In the hoop, broke the story that De'Aaron Fox was going to get traded first. And yours truly did it. So my phone got hacked. Nah, man. Nah, he's doing a great job filling in. He's doing what he does. Yeah, Saturday shocked the basketball world. Like, the first question I have is, how in the hell did the Lakers put together a better team in 3 days than the Phoenix Suns could in 3 years? What's going on?
Yeah,
Like,
Hell Hostage by Bradley Beal.
no, I mean, but he ain't been with the team for 3 years. Like, that should have never been done. Like, how did they GM Rob Pelinka redeemed himself in 3 days? And these idiots couldn't do right in 3 whole years. Like, come on. And expect Timberwolves, get it together. I don't know if you guys heard. It just came to my knowledge today. Minnesota Timberwolves reached out and to acquire Kevin Durant. I don't know how it fell apart, but if I'm Ant-Man, threaten who you got to threaten, bro.
Threaten them all.
Yeah, threaten to do whatever you got to threaten to do, because that should have happened. Yeah, man. Nah, these the CBA, the financial restrictions and this tiers of penalties is really making teams and GMs react in a certain way, react early. We see a lot of guys getting traded earlier in their contract. A lot of guys, GMs just reacting crazy. So the summer's gonna be weird, man.
Yeah,
the summer's gonna be weird.
Like, for lack of better words, for sure. This is definitely
it's almost like I think I forget what I was watching, but they said it best. Like, the trade deadline is the new free agency. And it seems that way with the way people are moving. It's like, by the time we get to summer, what's going to be left to do? you sign a couple pieces, but I don't see anything more major happening this summer that didn't happen in the last week.
That's crazy. Yeah. AP, I know you're there. When you want to describe the role, the type of role that Sharania played in this week, man. How would you describe it? Without get too much into the trades, like how would you describe that type of?
I mean, pure chaos. It seems like pure chaos is probably the best way to describe it. Did not believe any of it at first. And when it finally happened, my first immediate thought was, there is actually a GM in Dallas that is way worse than Jerry Jones. I cannot believe it. What the hell is going on? It's crazy. And yeah, it just continued to snowball from there. I mean, you notice Dennis Schroeder got traded to like 6 different teams in 2 days. Like
4 to be exact.
I mean 4, but same concept. Come on now. And then of course it's like, you want to praise LA because now you got LeBron and Luka on the same team.
Don't get into the trade yet, Alan. We got to build it up. Just tell me about the experiences. Don't get into the trade yet.
It's great. It was chaos, but it was also confusing.
There you go. That's a great one.
It's like well,
yeah.
We'll get to that when we get to that.
We'll get to it. Don't worry. It's a pause. We got that on the way. Yeah, Jay. You know what I'm saying? Your description of a week full of ups and downs. How would you describe that if you were Sean?
Thrilling, captivating. I mean, this is what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? He is what he signed up for. It's like I'm not going to elaborate too much other than what I said earlier. Just imagine if it wasn't hacked, like if it really was hacked. Thank God he did his work, got it done. When you look at as far as the Mavs, you probably thought that Jason Kidd was probably going to walk out on the press conference like, I'm not doing this anymore. You know what I mean? But it looks like they have a plan. Let's see what happens. A lot of moves. We'll get into that, I guess. But it was thrilling, captivating.
That's a good one. I'm gonna throw it in there. I'm gonna describe it like as a roller coaster of sorts. There was ups, there was downs. We was going left, we was going right, we were moving back, we was going forward. It's kind of like I went to Carowinds. Well, shout out to Carowinds out there in North Carolina, and that Batman ride, although the line was long, the line was so long, but it was so thrilling just to get out of that heat and be on the ride for like that couple minutes. And it seems like it was going to be forever, but in real life, it was probably maybe 10 minutes of my life. And I waited an hour and a half to get on the ride. I think the same thing about this past week. It felt like we were waiting days on days to see what was going to happen, especially with certain trades that literally started, possibly happening last month. But it really was just a couple of days, man. Sunday to Thursday, in a regular work week, man, in the blink of an eye, it's over. Thursday at 4:00, I felt like, once, and I was at my job, looking at my phone, like, is it 3:50? Is it 2? What's going to happen? Is it something else going to happen? And bang, 4:00 was here, and I know Shams had the weight of the world just fall off his shoulders, like he just fell back on the bed and was like, that's it, ain't nothing else left. But I think that's great, man, to have somebody in the gap of Adrian Wojnarowski, who was an insider for ESPN and NBA, representing for many, many years, I want to say almost a decade or two, if not for sure, of giving us groundbreaking or informative stories about some of the most interesting and difficult trades that we've heard about. So now, Shams, you got a lot to live up to, bro. You got big shoes to fill.
Got the juice now.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Got the juice now.
You got the juice now, Shams. You deserve it, man. All right, so you know how it goes, man. Right here on the Rec Room Sports, we get into the second hour. So we're gonna lock in on this one now. You know, fellas, it looks like we got our other guest in the back. We're gonna let him get himself together as we get ready to go into the hard part of the show. Let's see. Boop, look up. All right, it looks like he may be ready. Hey, look, if you watch the Rec Room, you already know what time it is with this guy, man. He comes on with us on Tuesdays, one of the original Rec Room Sports members. He knows numbers on the back of his, like the back of his hand, man. I'm talking about stats, statistical figures from your favorite sports teams. There's nobody better that we can get on the show when it comes to that. So I want to give a big shout out to my brother from another mother, Coach Joey. Coach Joey in the building. What to do?
What's going on, fellas?
Yo,
What's happening?
All right, man. Hey, Joe, man, we've been running through it, but this is actually a great time to bring you in as we get closer and closer to the exact moments when these trades happen. We're going to start right here with the people that make the decisions were making decisions this past trade deadline, and I'm talking about, you might think of them as nerds or geeks or people in the front office or whatever, but they showed you who pays the cost to be the boss. This was one of those ones where, I think in recent years, all of us have paid attention to the NBA, and, players would run the headlines around this time. This player ain't showing up. This player been wanting to move. This player doesn't want to sign an extension. This player wants this. This player wants that. I feel like this one was kind of about the ownership groups and the GMs and the presidents of basketball operations. Multiple presidents of operations kind of like led the charge with this one. Look, you don't want to play? We'll get you up out of here. Straight up. You don't want to work out? We'll get you up out of here. How many all pro teams you got? I don't care. We'll get you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You want to hold the ball? You want to play with some young players? Cool, fine. We'll get you up out of here. So let's talk about the front offices in these moves. Joe, man, welcome to the show. Of course, man, I don't really got to coach you on nothing. Matter of fact, man, you have a particular affliction to a certain team. Don't talk about the trade so much in this one. Talk about the people who made the trade. And we'll run about that one. So go ahead, Coach Joey. Go ahead and jump on that.
Man, everybody knows I'm a LA Lakers fan, and this is Rob Pelinka's shining moment in my opinion. Acquiring a superstar, securing our future for the next decade with Laker fans worldwide. But not only that trade, but acquiring, once we lost Anthony Davis, acquiring Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets, who's been playing phenomenal ball and protecting the rim when we needed that center position solidified with losing AD, who is a star player on both ends of the floor. So I definitely think that Rob Pelinka is one GM that did his thing, but I want to also cast a shining light on the Memphis Grizzlies GM, in my opinion, who in this particular last couple of days made some moves. They traded away Marcus Smart. They acquired some more assets, as far as with 2 second-round picks that they acquired, trading Marcus Smart to the Washington Wizards. But he's been a GM actually for the last couple of years who's been making solid moves as well. They found G.G. Jackson last year, developed him pretty greatly, drafted Edie, and then they just acquired more picks, because when they acquired Marcus Smart last year, they had 2 first-rounders come their way, I believe, and then they traded him and acquired 2 more second-rounders. So they just gathering a lot of picks, and they already have a deep team, already have a young team. So that's another GM who I feel like is not getting a lot of credit, but who has made some solid moves and has been moving and grooving these last couple of days as well.
For sure, Joey. Thanks for coming in and starting us off with those right there. Jay, man, the other day, me and you were having a particular conversation, and you brought up a name that actually wasn't even talked about as much when it came to these trades and what is taking place, man. Who were you talking about the other day, bro?
Damn. What are we talking about?
It's
Talking about a lot of people.
it's a GM who used to play and work
Yeah,
for another team of
my
great
fault.
stature.
All right, so I don't know what y'all heard about this Danny Ainge situation, but it has to suck for him right now because, and I actually need to do more research on it, but I would imagine he's pretty upset because from what I heard, the Jazz pulled off was pretty much was in to help the Lakers. I think it was for the picks or whatever. So I think it was pretty much asked like, what would you trade for? He was like pretty much shafted out the deal. He ended up pretty much helping the Lakers out to get Luca. And he said that he didn't know until again saw it on the ticker that he helped the Lakers get Luca. So with him bleeding Celtic green, he's not happy. And this is something that's going to have some repercussions. And he definitely is going to take this. He's going to be a little upset about this for a while. And I think he's going to get some get backs. This ain't over with Daddy Ainge. Like, this ain't something that's just go. I don't think, like, he's going to try to do something serious to get some get back. So,
Yeah, bro. That's you hit the nail on the head with that one, Jay. Because everybody who speaks about Danny Ainge and how he came up in the Celtics, Danny Ainge holds on to a grudge for a really long time, and I don't think
yeah, he
that he's
does.
gonna. I don't think he's gonna forget how Rob Pelinka didn't let him know the whole idea about what was going on. Bobby G, man, it was some other moves made. It was some other big time players involved in them. Which one of them caught your eye, bro?
Really, the Zach LaVine to the Kings.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Did y'all just not see that shit not work out for the Bulls for like 3 years?
Right.
And then
and
you gonna put them right back together like it's gonna work for you? Like, Vladdy, quit, resign.
Yeah.
Just you don't know what you're doing, bro. You don't know what you're doing, man.
And Bobby, my bad. What you were saying, me and Whit was talking about that too. Not even what you said, like on the King side. You tried it with Harrison Barnes.
right.
It didn't work. You got DeMar. We'll see what's going on. And you got Fox. You know what I'm saying? And you like, let's get Zach LaVine. What?
Yeah.
It's almost like, what are you doing? Like your makeup of what you want, it ain't working. Like this, we're gonna put a guard in there and it's gonna blow up. Like that's what they thinking. They're gonna put the right guard in there that's gonna make everything blow.
Well, they're gonna start Malik Monk. That's the only other thing. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you trade Halliburton way too early. Like, you did all of this to appease De'Aaron Fox, and then he wants out. And then you put these two players together who didn't work on one side of the country, and you think it's gonna work because they're on the West Coast? Think Kendrick Lamar can bring Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan back together?
Like the beam.
Like, yeah, man, what are the Kings doing? They're not even
It's
playing.
all about the beam.
They're not even playing real basketball. They're playing 2K my GM or something.
Right. Hey, 2K, my GM will teach you how to do it, though. I ain't gonna lie. AP, it's a GM, some moves in the front office, man. To talk about somebody from any of these moves that have taken place that have caught your attention, man. Who you think about?
I mean, I'm really impressed with what San Antonio's done. I mean, I feel like they're building that roster the right way. I think De'Aaron Fox only adds to the potential that could very well help Wemby and get better in his game as well. I think that was a good move. I mean, I said it earlier, but Gotta be feeling a little bit better knowing that my Cowboys GM Jerry Jones, owner and president, is not the worst GM in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Now that title has been exchanged after this Luka Doncic deal, so congratulations, Jerry. I guess it's not going to last long, but yeah, you get. I'm sure every Dallas Maverick fan woke up that morning and was like, what the hell are we doing? The team itself, if you go back, I believe, if what I saw is correct, the team lost 700,000 followers on social media that morning.
Every Serbian fan is left.
It was something that kind of definitely caught my attention for sure. But if there was a move that was quietly made, obviously the Aaron Fox trade was something that really caught my eye. That I think maybe kind of went under the radar a little bit because of all the craziness that was going on around it. But I really do like that trade for the Spurs because I think it makes them a better team in the long run.
I feel you on that, man. It's very rare that I think we get to see teams like the Spurs make moves and it's a splash like it was. But when it comes to the Spurs, there's one name that pretty much reigns supreme, and we got to keep it real, man. That name is Greg Popovich, bro. Like it's been Greg Popovich for decades now. It's gonna be Greg Popovich until it's over. And I think that making that move of acquiring Chris Paul was a big one of the largest ones. And then now getting Chris Paul set up to kind of play the role of like the young kids say, to both De'Aaron Fox and Wemby, I thought was a big deal. And Vassell out there is balling. You know what I'm saying? We thought he was going to be just a flash in the pan from his days at UConn, but look at him now. Totally different players. So big shouts out to what the Spurs are doing at the moment. But then of course, we're not gonna act like in Dallas, Nico Harrison isn't somehow figuring out a way to put the best pictures together. You know what I'm saying? The best picture of what he would think is a good team. We speculated over everything when it comes to Dallas and what took place, man. The idea about conditioning, or the idea about Luka taking his health serious when he's not playing. And I personally said I just don't think that they can agree with the European lifestyle. And when I said European lifestyle, I was just saying, when he's not playing, he's enjoying his life and drinking. Maybe a little bit too much, maybe more than they think. But outside of that, man, we got to talk about a couple other GMs that I thought was important or integral in making some of these big moves. Mark Eversley, the general manager of the Chicago Bulls. That's what I was waiting on Bobby to say that one. But then on the same side, Bobby, I thought you was going to talk about this one too, because this one kind of slipped under the radar, right? David Griffin, executive vice president for basketball operations of the New Orleans Hornets. Everybody knows David Griffin was the original architect behind them Cleveland teams. And now we got we shaking up that New Orleans team and we making it look like a whole nother team. But look, out of nowhere, doing my research, I had no idea that Swin Cash was promoted to senior vice president of basketball operations in 2020. So she had a little bit to play in this. And then on the offset of that trade, which sent Brandon Ingram to Toronto, we got to talk about Masai Ujiri, who has been putting together architecturally sound teams in Toronto, drafting Scotty Barnes and whatnot for years. Somehow, some way, figured out a way to steal Kawhi Leonard for one championship. You know what I mean? And then in Sacramento, Monty McNair, that's the real president of basketball operations. Although they got Vlade Divac as basically a figurehead, if you will, for the Sacramento Kings. But Monty McNair said, "Hey, look, you don't like the direction the team is going. We're going, more towards a faster pace of basketball, even though you fast, and we want to make sure that we got solid players around. So look, man, they get De'Aaron Fox up out of there. And then, lo and behold, last but not least, the biggest name of them all, in my opinion, we got to talk about it, man. Pat Riley, Mr. Pat Riley out there in Miami, figured out a way to get Jimmy Butler up out of there. And this whole Pat Riley situation has been happening for what, Jay? Maybe a month now, 2 months? Maybe since the offseason when they did not offer Jimmy Butler an extension. But Pat Riley is one of the largest luminaries in the NBA. He stands on business. He got rid of LeBron. Don't think he won't get rid of you. And that's pretty much what took place with Jimmy Butler.
He didn't get rid of LeBron. LeBron left.
LeBron left. Okay. He didn't make a solid offer for LeBron to stay. Let's put it like that. And then, once again, flipping sides, somebody brought it to my attention. It's in the group chat for IG right now. Dallas doesn't know how to keep point guards. They got rid of Jason Kidd. They got rid of Steve Nash. They didn't pay Jalen Brunson. And now look at him with Luka. I didn't even think of that. I really didn't even think of that, but
mic drop.
There you go. Straight up. Something's going on with Dallas and point guards, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but thank you, Reed. Mr. Reed. We appreciate you, man. Make sure you tune in.
I was Reed Richards.
Oh, no, Willie. Shout out to Willie Reed, man, out there playing the keyboard. He do his thing.
To be fair, J. Kidd did come back and get the chip, though.
Yes, he did. This is correct. He did return. So yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? As we talk about the bosses, let's get to the players, man. And this is one of the ones where I know we're gonna pretty much close the show, the whole second half of the show out with this one. Let's just unpack everything, bro. Let's start from the top. Let's get to it and go ahead and jump right on it, bro. It's really no way else to start but to start at with the Lakers and the Mavericks. Everybody knows what happened, man. Luka, 5-time first team All-Pro. 5-time. And you got rid of for Anthony Davis. I'm not saying that there is a winner or a loser in this trade, not yet. But the immediate transfer of powers is somewhere, and I can't wait to see what the team looks like together as a whole for both sides. And so, back to you, Joe, man. This is your Lakers. You do have one of the most well-known international stars ever. How you feel now?
Look, I'm so happy. I'm ecstatic. I cannot tell y'all. Like the last 4 or 5 years, we won a championship in the bubble. We finally got a good coach, in my opinion, in JJ Redick. We actually playing good basketball before the trade, 5 seed, playing good. But I cannot tell you, it's been about 2-3 years since I really enjoyed watching my Lakers play basketball. To be honest with you, it's just the brand of basketball we was playing wasn't conducive to entertaining me. We traded for Luka now. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see what this team looks like. I'm glad we got a bona fide young superstar that is entertaining. Acquired him through this trade, so I'm very excited with that. We also made a couple moves, got Mark Williams. It's going to be interesting to see how we gel, but it's just refreshing that, we got somebody who can we're going to sell out seats anyway, but we just got somebody who's just highly entertaining. I can't just tell y'all exactly how ecstatic I am about this. I'm ready to just tune in. I really focus a lot on the NBA once NFL season stops, to be honest with you. So I just can't believe we got them. You know what I'm saying? We usually overpay in trades. Kind of feel like we finessed them a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like people are forgetting how good Anthony Davis really is. So, long term, it's looking like we're going to win it, but the short term, this might actually help Dallas a little bit more. The jury is out. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see. But, we lost a phenomenal player. In my opinion, Anthony Davis is a top 3, top 4 big man in the league. One of the very few stars who actually plays both sides of the ball. It's only a handful of them, and he's one of them. So we lost that, but we gained an international star, somebody who can drop 50 on your head game in any given time. Somebody who's highly entertaining. Already have one of the biggest brands in basketball, but now we're bringing more international fans onto the Laker bandwagon. So I'm just excited about that. And just interested to see how they're gonna gel. I feel like LeBron excited too. LeBron just dropped 42 and 17 last game. I feel like Luka gonna have him feeling young again. This might actually make LeBron, because I always felt like LeBron probably had one more year, like next year be his farewell year. This might actually make LeBron hang on for like another 2 years and actually play. We'll see, man. I'm just excited to see how it's going to look, the product we're going to get. I think JJ Redick's going to be able to bring them in. It's a lot of egos. I think they may clash a little bit, but I think we got the right recipe to make it happen and end up gelling going into that playoffs. And who knows, we might make a deep run.
Yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate that, Joe. You know, one of the things that I wanted to throw out there. Matter of fact, I'll hold on to it, man. You know what I'm saying? So, fellas, man, let's go ahead and start at the top. Bobby G, man. Luka for AD. What you think about it?
The Dallas Mavericks are morons. How do you make a trade like that? How do you make a deal like that and not take every single asset that the Lakers have? I mean, every single one. If I'm the Dallas GM, you're not going to get Mark Williams because guess what? I want Dalton Connect too. Oh, you got a 2031 pick? I want that too. You got a 2033? I want that too. Like, yeah, he's just a moron. He's another guy. Go ahead and join the unemployment line with Vladdy. Because, yeah, that's making it. I mean, you say, like, people forget how good Anthony Davis is. Yes, he's a good player, but what has he ever contributed to a team? Furthest he ever took the New Orleans Pelicans was a first-round exit. Same with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving even worse because when the Celtics really made the playoffs, he wasn't there. And when he was with the Cavs, we never made the playoffs with just him as leader. So you traded a guy who carried your team to the NBA Finals, and you decided to hang your team's future on two guys who combined have a first-round exit from the playoffs. Good job.
No, he got a second round. He got further than the first round.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
It's Pelicans.
No, they didn't. They got beat by the Warriors in the first round with Anthony Davis. That's the only time they ever made the playoffs.
I swear they got beat by the Rockets one time. They got beat by the Rockets and Anthony Davis was hurt. Am I wrong? Am I missing something?
They made it 1 year when it was Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. I think that was the year.
Yeah, and AD, either AD and Cousins got hurt and it just fell apart.
Could be right, but even still,
I know one year they stomped the hell out of us on our way to losing. But so that's why I know. But yeah,
okay, still
generally speaking,
finals,
yeah, I got
second round exit.
There you go.
Either way, it's the same. They didn't. Nothing came about, man. Now Brandon Ingram is in Toronto now, and you know what I'm saying. Like, good luck there with that.
Right. So, yeah, man. Good luck with your team, Nico, because you know that's what you got now.
Word. Yeah, man, Jay. You know what I'm saying. You already pretty much got it started. First thing that comes, and the thing is, me and you was literally looking at our phones going, ain't no way, man. I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's crazy. It's crazy how it turned out and how it started. You was talking and you stopped in the middle of what you were saying and you was like, wait, what? And my phone kept buzzing and I'm not paying attention to nothing because I'm listening to you. And I'm like, what? And you just, what? What? Huh? What? Is this real? Is this real? Is this real? And I was just like, bro, what? And I'm steady saying, what? And I'm like, yo, let me look at my phone. And I'm reading. And I was like, yeah, this real, yo. Like, because, again, if his phone got hacked, bro, he's finished. So, like, let's hope let's just go with it. Because if not, yo, he going to be the laughing stock of the NBA world tomorrow. So that the next day, should I say? So yeah. I mean, it was huge for the Lakers. You know, it's one of those things where this could be best for both sides. Like that things were done that way. Some it was weird. The timing was weird. The way it happened was weird. The way they expressed it was weird. They had a conversation for the last few weeks. I think that was a lie. Um, when the whole thing with Danny Ainge, like I said before, um, this is big for the NBA. This is big for you look at the international scope, you look at every team, like how many got Giannis, you got Jokic, you got all these international players who are the best players in the NBA, and here they are signing a big deal to go global. So let's see what kind of games turn out. We just had Wimby going to France for a couple games or whatever, and now let's see what else comes about. So, perfect timing, NBA. Perfect timing. They really took the thunder from the NFL for you know really for some time now. Like the NFL is trying to. It seems like they're not gonna reel it back to Kendrick Lamar goes on at halftime. With what has taken place with Luca. So it is what it is.
Yeah, what's going on, Bobby?
I just wanted to say, Joey and Jay were correct. They're correct. He took him to the playoffs. It took him 3 years into his career to get him to the playoffs, and they got stomped out by the Warriors. And then 3 years later, they returned to the playoffs, and they beat the Blazers in the first round, and then they got stomped out again by the Warriors in the second round.
It was the Warriors. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was the Rockets, but
they get stomped out by the Warriors twice. But it took the
You're
Pelicans
giving too much credit to James Harden there.
Twice in 6 years, that man took the Pelicans to the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought it was the Rockets team that had Russ on it. That's what I was thinking, but maybe my time was a little off. Anyway, Alan, man, yeah, your thoughts, man. This was the biggest trade almost ever, to some degree. So, what's your thoughts on that one, bro?
So Joey, correct me if I'm wrong, but Don't Connect was a part of that trade to Charlotte, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Originally, that Dallas trade did include Don't Connect. He was going to be a part of that trade to get Luka Doncic, but that got changed last second from what I saw. So had Dalton Connect been traded to Dallas, maybe you don't get your center. So that's another blessing in disguise, I guess you could say. So I would also like to thank the Dallas Mavericks and their GM for officially giving the Oklahoma City Thunder the Western Conference, because now that Luka is out of Dallas, there is nobody for us to worry about.
Oh, everybody knows the end of the game. Every time Allen says Oklahoma City, please take a shot.
You're
not
incorrect.
Azel, because you look at the last few years, what is the team that has been a thorn in our side the most? That's been the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic. Now that he's out of the picture, now that he's in LA, we don't got to worry about Dallas no more. There's almost a free pass at this point.
That's what you think.
Because I have a real good feeling, and I'm sorry, Joe, but I have a real good feeling that the Lakers are going to be meeting Denver in the playoffs, and that's not a good matchup for me personally.
I don't want to see him. I don't know if OKC wants to see him. Also,
I'm okay with facing Denver. I won't be upset facing Denver.
We got a couple teams that the Rockets gonna make the playoffs. We don't know how they look. That's an X factor. Memphis Grizzlies, that's an X factor. Hey, I think the West is wide open.
And also, don't forget one of the biggest moves for this young team was they just got Chet back tonight. So you add a healthy Chet Holmgren to this OKC roster. That's even more. We haven't seen Hardenstein and Chet on the same court together. That's one of the things I'm excited about. So a lot of movement around the West, but also the top three teams still got luck out of the deal too. So thank you, Dallas, for further helping these young teams around you in Houston, OKC, and of course Memphis, and then even San Antonio with them getting De'Aaron Fox too. So Yeah. Thank you, Dallas. Thank you for screwing up so bad.
Well, look, bro. Pretty much you guys put it all in perspective. The only thing I was going to throw into the thought was, as I see here, the funny thing is, uh, when you look at the numbers, right? The joke for Anthony Davis is calling him street clothes, right? The last 2 seasons, who you guys think played the more games, Luka or Anthony Davis?
AD actually.
Funny stories. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has played more games than Luka.
Who played for a championship?
I know. But this current season, who's played more games, Luka or Anthony Davis?
I think
AD?
LeBron's conditioning and his team. I think AD might have linked up with him a little bit, and that might have helped him out.
I think for sure. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then on the flip side, for Dallas, Allen brought it up. The trade would have included Dalton Connect. I watched that game last night. For that with Dallas, I like Max Christie, bro. Straight up.
Oh, yeah.
We lost Max Christie.
Christie got a good game.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when they was playing the Celtics and he not afraid of Jason Tatum. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't afraid of Jaylen Brown. He was on it defensively. Let's put it like that. The defensive side of the ball, he got that length, he got the feet for it. Like, that's what you need to have in the Western Conference more so than Dalton Connect, who can score and not defend as well. You know what I'm saying? Max Christie, I don't need you to do all of that. I need you to get out there and guard the second or third best player on the perimeter. And Max Christie definitely can do that. So big shouts out to Max Christie being a piece of that.
Word on the street is Dalton Connect got traded because he wouldn't pass the ball to Bronny.
For sure. Yes. What? Yeah. Dalton Connect, just looking here. There's clips of Dalton Connect looking him in the eye and not passing him the ball. Okay, so he had to go. Let's keep that 100. But at the same time, man, on the other side of the ball for the Lakers, I think in true Laker fashion, this is something that they couldn't have pulled off in any other way, shape, or form. Could not have. They couldn't have. It was going to be the numbers would have been too high for the Lakers to outright do this the right way or something like that. It was basically because the powers that be, once again, Mr. Nico Harrison. And of course, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd said, yeah, if you want to move him, move him. You know what I'm saying? And don't think Jason Kidd light skinned and quiet. No, he's very vocal behind closed doors. And I'm sure that they said, look, it's got to happen. We got to get a good piece. And the only people they called was the Lakers. But I think for the next 10 years, bro, 10 years for sure, barring health and injury, like Luka is in a place where he can flourish and grow and somewhat, staple himself to the Lakers franchise, and it'd be a complete and total transformation of his game. Because I don't know if y'all know, but ain't nothing like an angry European man, okay? And I think he's going to do that, bro. I think he's right. I think he really gonna get with LeBron. I think he really gonna get cool with Bronny, and they're gonna be working out together. It's gonna be Luka, LeBron, just like how AD got attached to LeBron for a second, and they were showing all the videos of LeBron at the house drinking wine and blah blah blah. But AD be in the background playing 2K. It's gonna be Luka, and I think he's gonna learn a lot about conditioning and taking care of his body, the American way, and it's gonna put the battery in his back. But right now, I do think that once Anthony Davis really puts on that jersey, I really think the Mavericks have made some room to improve in the Western Conference standings. Let's go ahead and keep it going. Yeah, especially defensively.
One more thing though, real quick.
Go ahead.
Blessing in disguise is we don't got a super max out Luka. We're bringing another star next year, maybe. Yeah, we're gonna be able to bring in another star, another max deal level star that maybe want to come play with Luka, and this thing might get even better.
Let me tell you something. One of the things I was going to talk about was that money. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just throw it out there. There's a difference between $345 million. What? There's a difference between 229. What? It's $116 million. Oh, I'd be mad at everybody in a Dallas front office, the secretary, the janitor. Whoo!
There's also a difference between 0 state tax and 19%.
Oh, there you go.
Tax.
That's another one. I didn't even think of that one, bro. I didn't even think of that one. Boy, I am on fire when I think about that. Every day I got 116 on my ceiling. And every day I'm sleeping, I'm looking up at that $116 million. They got me out of there. Anyway, let's keep it moving, man, to some other trades that I think were really important and talk about those as we get to the second half of the second hour. So, the other big move, guys, and I think we kind of touched on it lightly, of course, was the Sacramento Kings, man, getting room pretty much on their roster and reuniting DeMar DeRozan and his longtime Duncan buddy, Zach LaVine. I don't know. Is it me? Is it?
It might work out.
I don't know. I don't know.
It might work out.
It might work out.
They got Valanciunas as well.
Right.
Brought in another big. So it didn't work out with Chicago as far as playoff wins and all that. But we can say this: LaVine, DeRozan, they got camaraderie. They know each other. They know how to play with each other. It seemed like DeMar welcomed them with open arms to Sacramento, even though there was whispers that when they were together in Chicago, it was kind of a little tension. But let's see how it plays out. They fired. They fired Mike Brown. Got the new coach. New coach got a plan a little bit better, in my opinion. So let's see let's give it a chance.
Good old Doug Christie, boy. Everybody know how Doug used to get down.
They made some moves. You got Sabonis, who leading the league in rebounds, who was a pretty good big man. You bought in Valanciunas. You got another piece in the middle to protect the rim, defend. You got 3 good guards in Monk, LaVine, and DeRozan. So they got some players. They got the scoring. They got the rim protection. I don't know if they got Keegan Murray. I don't know if they necessarily have the depth of a real good bench. That remains to be seen. But losing Fox, you got points and assists that you got some buckets that need to be filled. And LaVine, and I think DeRozan can carry that load. I don't think it equates to them winning playoff games or a series, put like that. But might be a playing team.
Yeah, playing sounds pretty good. Jay, is the playing out of the works for him, or are you thinking a little bit better? And then of course we'll address the San Antonio side of it as well. What you thinking when it comes to sack time?
No, I agree that I still it's yet to be seen because we handled them a couple times in a row last couple days, and then once, huh?
The Blazers on a little streak too. I saw that.
Yeah, but they, everybody's getting accustomed, and somebody was pretty much asking me, man, what about this so and so game? What about this game? And I'm like, look, man, I'm not messing with any props, man, because everybody's getting accustomed to their teams right now. And maybe a couple things you can call with a couple people being absent. Not sure if Brandon Ingram has gotten any time in with you sure Allen, if Ingram played against the Thunder tonight?
I am not sure. I didn't hear. I think I had heard that he may have been out tonight.
Yeah, so
the only things I saw were that Chet was supposed to be back for us tonight, and that there was a good chance that Brandon Ingram was going to miss tonight. So
yeah, so we got a lot of teams that still haven't got accustomed. So the Kings, I think give them a couple weeks, and then it's real cool for these teams to kind of still get a run before the All-Star break, so that it's like, hey, see what they got going to the All-Star break. I still think the trade deadline needs to be after the All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a good thing to do. But I guess making it earlier kind of does help the team with the camaraderie, chemistry, everything, and then see who can actually get bought out during the All-Star break. So, that's a good thing. You can kind of get some talking done, during the All-Star break, see what's what. So, I think the Kings gonna be all right though. I think they'd be fine. It's just give them a little bit, man. But it's cool to have two guards that played each other. Just now they just gotta get used to their different surroundings.
Right. I agree with you on that one. Bobby G. Yeah, I mean, Sacktown putting the boys putting the band back together again.
Disaster. I'm gonna tell you something. The only thing I have to say is this: like you know how I've been about Phoenix the last 4 seasons, and I mean we pretty much all had the same thought. Yeah, you got talent. You don't have a point guard. You don't have a leader. The Sacramento Kings now have 6 players who average 10 shots or more per game. And the only point guard on the roster is a rookie. Who's going to decide who gets the ball? Not enough balls to go around. Malik Monk ain't no point guard.
I know.
He shoot the most.
Want to shoot too. That's the thing.
He shoot the most.
Malik go out there and go for the basket. That's all he do.
Yeah, like by comparison, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have they're tied for the best record in the NBA, they have 3 players who average 10 shots per game or more. The New York Knicks, who have a roster full of talent, they only have 4 players who average 10 shots or more. You got 7 players averaging 10 or more shots and nobody to decide whose turn it is. That's disaster. You're asking for disaster.
Hey, man, look, I think Jay mentioned it. That buyout market is about to start popping off very shortly. So maybe somebody, second string, third string point guard, or somebody wants to get up out of town. Maybe they take a flyer up on them, get them for the minimum. AP, I know you got a little sprinkle to put on this Sacramento joint right here, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to take a shot at Ben Simmons, I don't think they'll do that. But I agree with Bobby. I do not like what the Kings did. I don't. I don't think they're going to be any kind of factor in the Western Conference. I know the West is really tight right now, especially from Houston down. But I think they're going to end up being the odd team out. I don't even think they're going to be a playing team.
Dang.
As much as they kind of have that talent, I agree with Bobby in the fact that you have a rookie point guard who's trying to corral all that talent together. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to let your youngest guy try to be your leader, especially if he doesn't have the leadership experience in the NBA level. So I do not see the Kings being a factor whatsoever in the Western Conference at all.
I was just about to say, all about the really good players not being leaders, don't you, Alan?
I mean, there's a certain guy in Phoenix right now that I guess you can talk about that. But no, apparently it was all Kendrick Perkins who was the leader in our squad. But whatever, I didn't even know.
Big Perk.
No. Everybody knows it was Russ. Come on now, everybody knows it was Russ.
Look, you know what? And not to get off topic, I can't remember that light skinned dude name. That was y'all too. That all he did was play defense.
Roberson? No, Alvin Roberson.
Roberson. Yeah, the Anthony Roberson and Tabo Cephalosha. They just swapped out light skinned dudes and both of them.
Nick Collison. Nick Collison was the other one.
I swear Nick Collison was in the NBA for like 40 years and nobody.
Oh, yeah, Nick Collison too. Nick Collison played forever on that Oklahoma City's bench, man. But yeah, let's keep it moving.
I'm gonna shoot the Kings some bail a little bit. They kind of had to move Fox this season before he got on his deal, and everybody started lowballing him next season if they were to hold on to him, and they wouldn't have probably got less than what they would have got with Levine in return. So I think they had to make a move. They kind of was victim of circumstances. We know Rich Paul, if his player wants to get traded, somehow, his player gets traded, and they get traded to the situation they want to go to. So, it was whispers that Fox wanted to end up in San Antonio. He ends up in San Antonio. San Antonio somehow keeps Steven Castle, somehow keeps all their young talent, doesn't really trade anywhere their young talent away. They found a third team in Chicago, and then you get talent that Chicago was desperately trying to trade for a season or two in Levine. So I cannot think they was victim of circumstances, and that was the best trade that they could get at the time, and they took it.
Yeah. I forgot. Coach Joy wasn't here. Bobby G broke that story back in December.
He did. He did. He put it out there. Bobby definitely did put it out there, man. And once again, on the San Antonio side of things, man, it was more so. Yeah, I think it's a great fit. We kind of already touched on that a little bit when we were talking about the GMs. Chris Paul gets to lead the young team into the playoffs one more time. He's done it every time. He did it in Phoenix. He did it in OKC. He did it with the Clippers. He's going to try, and some way, somehow, it's a slight possibility that the 500 Spurs team right now can slide their way into 10, 9, or 8 and get themselves into the playoffs and make some noise. And I think that'll be a win. Not they don't got to go together too. Yeah, they play and I want to say
sample size. Fox had 29-14 game 1 with the Spurs, and he hit a buzzer beater to win the game tonight, but it got called back against the Hornets because it was in his fingertips as the time expired. So Fox is playing crazy right now with San Antonio. He really
they're gonna take the chains off him. They're gonna take the chains.
Wait, you remember when I said that Sacramento wasn't going to be in the playoffs? It's because of San Antonio. San Antonio is going to pass them up, and they're going to steal that spot now with De'Aaron Fox there.
De'Aaron Fox can play without the chains on him because he don't got to go through, Damo through Sabonis. He don't got to go through him anymore. He can just go ahead. And the thing is, Wemby is enough of a great big man where the rebounds will, if they breaking the rebounds are going to Wemby, man. I'm talking about 7'5", reach all over everybody. The rebounds going to Wemby. All you Wemby just got to did the putback going. Last but not least, one of the big trades, one of the second or third biggest trades, and we'll get into some more in the next segment for sure. And I know that emo mess wasn't nothing but a brother trying to show that he needed help. The young man going through some things. And we're talking about Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about Jimmy Butler, this pretty, like I mentioned earlier with Pat Riley and the Heat organization, this somewhat started in the offseason when they did not offer Jimmy Butler an extension, which probably would have left him a Heat player till he was 38, if I'm not mistaken. Another 2 year, probably a 2+1 would have made Jimmy happy, would have been ecstatic, and he would have been playing right now. But Pat Riley, who I think thinks about the long game, didn't offer it to him. Jimmy Butler became a disgruntled player, and he showed out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Everybody's got kids or has seen kids. I'm sure. When you got company over, and they pick their toys up and go to the other room. You're like, hold on, didn't I invite them over here to play with you? You know what I'm saying? That's what Jimmy Butler did. Jimmy Butler took his toys away from the other Heat players and said, man, I'm ready to go. And I think that to a degree that was selfish, but that's just me. I'm not worth millions of dollars, but not yet, at least. And eventually it took a month and a half, but they finally got a deal done, which sent Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors, and in return sent several young players and Andrew Wiggins to Miami. This is one of the ones that we were waiting on and could have went several other ways, which we will touch on in the next segment. But fellas, when we think about Jimmy turning into playoff Jimmy with a Steph Curry who clearly needs backup from time to time, how we feel about that, man? Dang, Jay, you could. I know you can still talk. Jay, what you think about Jimmy and Golden State, bro?
We'll get back to Jay. Let me give you my thoughts real quick. Whit.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't know he had it on mute. Go. Yeah.
I kind of like it for Golden State. I don't. It's a lot of old people over there though. As far as age wise, but I kind of like it. I think Jimmy Buckets is an upgrade over Andrew Wiggins. So what you lost, I think you gained a better player. You gained a better leader. I just got questions about if Jimmy and Draymond gonna mesh well together. You know, I mean,
That's the question.
I think that they're gonna butt heads, and I hope the tape is rolling. It was rolling with Poole and Draymond if they do butt heads, because that's gonna be interesting. I mean, I want to see if Jimmy's gonna come there, because Draymond's gonna want to keep that alpha dog energy. Like, I'm the top dog. I'm the big dog of this franchise because I've been here for several years. My team is longer. You're the new kid on the block, even though you're a vet. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they work together. I hope they can mesh well together, but Jimmy still has it. He was frustrating me how he was handling this, though. I felt like it's very unprofessional. He ended up getting his way. So I feel like he has to prove to Golden State that it was worth them acquiring him, because I mean they cashed him out immediately, ripped up the new contract, gave him what, 2 years, 121 million. So
Right.
you get over 60 million a year. So I mean they did right by you. Now it's your turn, Jimmy, to help Steph get to the playoffs and make a long run. You know, make a deep run into the playoffs at least second round, very competitive series. And if y'all lose 6 or 7, you know, that'll be the only way I see that this is a respectable trade that benefits them. And we're gonna also see if Steve Kerr can really coach too, because this is a lot of different personalities that have to manage right now. I think they better be blessed that Steph has his demeanor and he has his type personality. He kind of a peaceful guy, whatever, because it's gonna be challenging managing Jimmy, Draymond, these other guys. You know, Kuminga want more minutes, developing him properly. It's gonna be interesting to see what they got going on. But it's a team that could make a run, could get in the playoffs, could avoid the play-in and get maybe potentially a 6th seed if they can get it together and get on the right trajectory immediately. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see these first 10 games that they played together with Jimmy. As far as the Miami Heat, this is why I was frustrated with Jimmy Butler, because he was saying he don't have help, but Tyler Hero made the All-Star team this year.
Yeah.
Bam didn't make it, but we know what Bam brings to the table, and he's already made a couple of All-Star teams as well. So I know you might have wanted, you missed out on the Lillard, or you might have wanted another splash star to help you. But I seen you take teams and lead teams to NBA Finals, and if you see that Hero's taking that next step, that's your guy. That's your help. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he ultimately wanted it out. We're gonna see Wiggins over there in Miami. We'll see how how it pans out. I think Golden State won this trade. But you know, they got Eric Spoelstra over there in Miami. I think Wiggins will fall right in line, contribute, and they might actually make some noise out east a little bit too. So, you know, I think it was for what they had to move Jimmy. I think they could have got better things, but ultimately this is what they got. So we'll see if Spoelstra can manage that up.
For sure. Bobby, man, you saw it with your own 2 eyes. Miami gets rid of Jimmy, picks up a couple flyers. How you feel about that?
It's about time. I agree with everything Joey said, except for one thing. I don't look at Jimmy as being unprofessional. I look at the Heat as being unprofessional. Pat Riley being an asshole. Like you said earlier, like LeBron James left because Pat Riley wouldn't give him his way. Now, was Pat Riley in the right or wrong? That's neither here nor there. But also remember, Pat Riley wouldn't pay D Wade. Like, you let D Wade walk over your ego. Again, I stated a couple weeks ago, we've seen how many superstars in this league ask for a trade. How many of those people were suspended? Like, the situation could have been handled way better on the management side. If you don't, they made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. Like, and with that, you cost yourself your asking price, because now everybody see, oh, you got to get rid of this dude. You ain't got no choice, so you're at the mercy of your consumers. Like, it's just bad business by Pat Riley for not understanding. For the first time in his career, he like kind of showed that he didn't understand business. He let his ego get in the way of business. But for the Warriors, I think it'll work out. I think Joey's right there. I think they'll sneak their way into the playoffs. I don't think they'll get as high as 6 seed, but I definitely
probably be a playing team.
Yeah, but I definitely see him getting in. Imagine this. It's probably the first time in Steph Curry's career he could sit on the bench and like not worry at all.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Jimmy Butler can carry that lineup while he's on the bench. Matter of fact, Steph and Draymond can sit down and rest during games, and Jimmy can carry those lineups. So and vice versa. Jimmy can sit down and not worry. That's probably the aspect where he's like he needed some help. Like, look at what happened when Jimmy was not on the floor in those Heat games. That's when teams would go on runs because, yeah, Tyler Hero's doing the job offensively, but their defense would lack. In Golden State, it'll all work out. I think he rejuvenates Steph, gives him a level of urgency now. That they get that back. A lot of people think Curry's done. He's been hearing the noise. People don't think he belongs in the All-Star game. People saying he should give up his spot in the All-Star game. It's like he's been hearing all this noise. So now I think this move will rejuvenate him, rejuvenate Draymond a little bit. Soon as they pick up Jimmy from the airport, him and Draymond can go off in some corner and throw hands and get it over with and hug it out after that.
Get it out of the way, right?
Yeah, get it out of the way because it's gonna happen. They just throw hands and hey, bro it out and get it over with and get back to playing basketball. But yeah, I like the move for the Warriors in the short term. Obviously, we'll see what happens in the offseason for them long term, but in the short term, I like it. Like this season and next season. The Heat, I think we're witnessing I won't say destruction, but I think this aura that Miami has about them, I think we're seeing that being chipped away at.
Yeah, man. Alan, you same page, man. How you feeling about it right now? Now it's finally over.
And it took a while, didn't it? We've been talking about this for like almost a month at the very least. Like, is he finally going to get traded? Why is he getting suspended for asking for a trade? This whole thing, it was just one giant big ordeal, and it finally comes to an end. And again, I agree with Bobby. Pat Riley really did this to himself. You could have gotten more for Jimmy Butler, but because of the whole drama that you kind of brought into Miami during this, the asking price went down. So now you gotta reap what you sow. As far as Golden State's concerned, I do agree. I think they can be a playing team. Again, Exhibit B of why the Kings are not going to be a playoff team or a playing team because Golden State got better. I think this does rejuvenate Stephen Curry a little bit. This would be a team if Golden State were to get the eight seed. This would be the team that I would probably be worried about if I'm Oklahoma City. We do not have a good history against Golden State in the postseason. I mean, there's a reason why Kevin Durant left to go to Golden State after that season. We do not have a good history with this team. So if there was one team where it's like, I kind of don't want them to come out of the play-in tournament, that would probably be Golden State if I had to guess. Because if they like you said, if all three of these guys gel well together, Draymond and Jimmy get that fighting out of the way and they start focusing on basketball, this team could be dangerous. And this is the team that I probably don't want to see in that first round.
Hey man, yeah, you make a whole bunch of sense. Nobody really wants to see Steph Curry, especially with the ammunition that he will have coming off the bench. Jay, man, we appreciate you. I know you stepped away for a minute. You want to, get in on this the back end of the conversation about Jimmy Butler going to Golden State?
Nah, man, I'm done with Jimmy, man. I'm tired of talking about Jimmy, man. I want to see Jimmy. I want to see Jimmy. I
you want
miss the
to
Bulls.
see him play basketball?
Nah, I ain't gonna say it like that. I just miss the Bulls, Jimmy, man. I just miss the Bulls, Jimmy, man. That's all.
Where and the funny thing is, it's funny that you mentioned the Bulls, Jimmy, because he is slated to make his Golden State debut against his first team, which is the Chicago Bulls, this coming week. A lot of the big debuts are actually happening between Saturday and Monday. So I think this is going to be a big week for basketball with AD playing Saturday. I think Luka's playing Monday. The other game that we're talking about is going to be happening. With Jimmy Butler supposed to be Monday or Tuesday. So a lot of big things, a lot of the changes are going to be made right around that time. So I'm excited to hear about it. Look, man, we bust open that second hour, so we got to go ahead and rush over to what we got going on left. And we got real quick, we're going to jump on these last two. Bang, right? We're going to call it impact, step back, or triple threat. Now, this is easy. Of course, if you know anything about basketball, these are all somewhat of references to things that can be done on and off the court. So if we're talking about an impact, we're talking about something that's going to happen immediately. A step back necessarily doesn't make the trade didn't make the team no better. Or if you're in a triple threat, and as Jay would know, you can either dribble, pass, or shoot, which is kind of like we just got to kind of wait and see what's going to happen or take place with this one. And I pretty much just want everybody to pick one of their most ideal trades and go with one of these steps or with one of the options that we have. Like just to give an example, I guess I'll go first. For me, I would think that right now the Miami Heat are in a triple threat position. As I look at what they got going on, as they picked up, they got slow-mo. So let's not sleep on that. Slow-mo all go does a little something. Okay. They also got Davion Mitchell from Toronto. Davion Mitchell was actually supposed to be on that same level of defender as Marcus Smart at one point in time. And also the Heat received Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, y'all remember, #1 overall draft pick, is an NBA champion, and at one point was top 5 or 6 in scoring 2-3 seasons ago. When they gave him the keys to the kingdom, he was doing well, but then out of nowhere, Golden State discovered, hey, look, we got Jonathan Kuminga. Let's use Jonathan Kuminga and less of Andrew Wiggins. I think that this is a triple threat position where they can either get better and go forward or kind of fall back, especially when you include Tyler Hero in this. A step back, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I think the Toronto trade is a step back. I really don't think that I like Brandon Ingram. Trust me, I like Brandon Ingram. But I don't think he moves the needle in Toronto that much for what they gave up, in my opinion. And then an impact move is obviously, well, it's not obviously, but is one that I don't think we really will cover or has been covered as vaguely as everything else or as much as everything else. And this is one that Bobby will like, man. To be real with you, I don't know if y'all saw it, but somehow, some way, the Cleveland Cavaliers got my man Hunter from Atlanta. And he's actually one of the better players on that, or he was one of the better players on that Atlanta roster. And Cleveland right now, of course, is, on the top of the Eastern Conference. And to say that they got, somewhat better on the perimeter as far as perimeter defenders are concerned, because, of course, they're going to have to play this. They make it to the conference finals. We're thinking that they're going to play the Celtics. You're thinking that they're going to have to go up against the Knicks, all of whom need perimeter defense. And if you go out here and you got DeAndre Hunter guarding Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or, playing up on, Josh Hart or something like that, that makes a difference. And DeAndre Hunter will go out there, stand in the corner, hit a 3, knock it down. So a big impact move for me is DeAndre Hunter going to Cleveland, even though I don't want to give Bobby that much props. A step back for me is Brandon Ingram going to Toronto. And a triple threat, the one I'm interested in seeing play out is the Miami move. So now that I gave you guys that example, let's see what you guys got for me. Bobby G, you don't got to do all 3. You can just do one of them if you want to. What you got?
I guess I go with the homegrown. Go DeAndre Hunter. It's an impact. I would say it's a big impact. It doesn't make us exponentially better, but it does make us a little better. I feel more confident today than I did yesterday about us matching up with the Celtics, Bucks or Knicks. Like I said, he was having a career year in Atlanta. He's averaging almost 20 a game, shooting 40% from three, and he's coming off the bench. He's in the running for sixth man of the year. Hindrance because we'll have him in the starting lineup. So sorry, DeAndre, you no longer be in the running for sixth man, but I don't think he minds. I think he'd rather compete for the championship. And yeah, I mean, he's the first legitimate small forward that we've had since LeBron has left. Like face fact, we have guys who play on the wing, but like Isaac Okoro, yeah, he has the physicality, he has the build, but he's only 6'5". So at the end of the day, you got guys just shooting over him. He can have a good wingspan. DeAndre Hunter is a +6 player. For those who don't know what that means his wingspan is at least 6 inches more than his height. Mm-hmm. So he's 6'8". His wingspan is 7'2". And like you said, I mean, we're one of the top 10 defensive teams in the league. We have bigs who can switch everywhere, but it was always just having those. We already have 2 small guards. You can't have a smallish wing. Combine him with Dean Wade. Now you got 6'8", 6'10" guy in the rotation. Definitely solidifies his own defense, and the fact that we can count on him to hit an open three is just a bonus. So, yeah, I like, and yeah, we're like everybody else. We'll see him Monday night. So,
that's what's up. Yeah, Joey, you got once again, you don't have to do all 3. That was just me giving you an example of all 3. But impact, step back, or triple threat, you got to wait on it. Which one you got?
Try to touch on all 3. I'm gonna start with my triple threat. Trade that another one that kind of went under the radar. And shout out to this GM too. I wanted to mention him in that segment, but John Horst, you finally jugged off Milwaukee's GM. You finally jugged off Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
You jugged off Chris Middleton. You acquired Kyle Kuzma, who's a younger talent. I think he's gonna fall in line. He knows that Dame Lillard and Giannis, this their team. But I think that he can offer more than what Chris Middleton could offer at his age and with his injury history. So that's my triple threat. Kyle Kuzma could be the piece that gives them a little bit more production to help them when they make this playoff run and when they have tough matchups, if they have to face Cleveland, if they have to face a Boston team, So I think that is something that remains to be seen to see how it can go. But I do feel like it'll be more advantageous to their overall team and winning efforts with Kyle Kuzma than Chris Middleton. Impact, I'm gonna go with De'Aaron Fox. In the Spurs trade, they making that move. I think that legitimately sets their franchise up for immediate success in the forthcoming future. Wemby has his running mate, has his point guard of the future. Now they can approach future drafts and kind of knowing, hey, I got my big man of the future. I got my point guard of the future. We got some solid pieces at guard and forward. They could kind of take risk in the draft. They could kind of put some picks together and move up and go get an impact player that they may see. So I think that's an impact. And a step back for me would be the Washington Wizards. We'll visit the same trade. Okay, you trade away Kuzma. You acquire an injury-riddled guy. I mean, your franchise is in disarray. You're one of the worst franchises already. But, what are you doing? I feel like they could have traded Kuzma to another place and got a better player or got some picks. Something to set their future up better than acquiring Chris Middleton, who is he now the face of your franchise? Or is it Poole's team? I mean, what direction are you going in to me? So that's a team, in my opinion, that took a step back as well.
They waving the flag.
Yeah. The Cooper flag.
Yeah.
They've been waving that flag a long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jay, man, same thing. 3 different moves. You got impact, step back, or the triple threat. You can do all 3 or just 1 or 2. It's up to you, bro.
Well, I'll go with impact of being wow. I mean, I'm still stuck on impact, so I'm gonna come back to impact. But triple threat, I'm gonna go with yeah, y'all. So the more and more y'all talk, some of y'all took mine, and it was like I gotta do something different.
You can revisit them. You can always revisit some of the same similar trades.
Well, I'm gonna look at Washington as a triple threat because you still have Sar, you still have Kolibali, which I still think he could be a star. Um, with him being able to show what he has, triple threat basically meaning um they can either go back like down and like suck even more with what they have now, and then end up getting a pick and somehow like gelling with what they have because they still have some type of core or young core starting up outside of Middleton. Um, he can be dealt. You know what I'm saying? He easily could be a trade piece anywhere else. Um, Impact, I'm gonna agree, and I because I have to agree with Bobby, and it's got to be DeAndre Hunter. For the Hawks to get rid of DeAndre Hunter after what they've been through with him, ooh, I want to. This is gonna get interesting because I want to see where Trey stands now as far as how the team is being handled. Um, so definitely impact with DeAndre Hunter signing him being 3-and-D, just like Bobby alluded to with him, a little over 19 points a game. You know, he could probably score more. He's gonna score more. I feel like he's gonna score more than he actually does in and has had done in Atlanta. Um, so those were my impact and triple threat. Step back, Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
What are you doing? Um, I just feel like again, what outside of you could say, okay, yeah, the guard tandem, if the guard tandem didn't work with which Vujacic is pretty much Sabonis, probably doesn't give as much as athleticism. But what is different? What did you see? Eh, I don't know. Like, it's different in Sacramento. You got like different water. What's going on? Like, we got
He
is
got
it the beam?
cowbells.
Is it the beam? Is it the bells? Like they say, like it's a thing. The bells could be like super soldier thing, where it's like the bells and they turn into like the greatest backcourt alive. You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is, what are you seeing that nobody else has seen? On two sides, like I said, with what Bobby said, what everybody has seen with them being with the Bulls, and then you have tried guard after guard after guard after guard, and it's not working. Like, let's try something else. You got, with what they have out there, they have a little nucleus, they have Murray.
That's a great freeze screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll come back to Jay. AP, you still there? You with us? Give us your take on step backs, impacts, or triple threats. You can pick either one or do all three.
Triple threat for me is going to be Golden State. Let's see what this Jimmy Butler situation is going to be like. Because if it goes well, like I said earlier, this is a team that I don't want to see round one. But if it becomes too hard for Steve Kerr to control these egos, Golden State might be in a world of hurt going forward. So that's probably my wait and see type. Step back, it's definitely the Dallas Mavericks for me. I'm not a fan of the move of moving Anthony Davis, of moving off of Luka Doncic. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't see Dallas making an impact. I think Dallas gets bounced in the first round of the play-in by one of these teams that I think made the better moves. In fact, I say they get bounced by the team that made the impact, and that was I agree with Coach Joey on this. It's De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. I think with that move, the Spurs can actually start to build not for just now, but for the future.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's a great veteran to have there, but having a younger De'Aaron Fox there allows you to build for the future, build around those two guys, and having all three of them together for 1 year. Again, I think that's going to be the Dallas's downfall in the play-in is I feel like San Antonio is going to catch them by surprise. So impact definitely De'Aaron Fox. Step back is going to be the Mavericks as a whole, I think, and then the other one was probably the Lakers. Or not the Lakers, but Jimmy Butler. It's a wait and see process with that. It could be either or.
All right, man. Look, check this out, guys. We are already halfway past the second hour mark, and we're going to go ahead and close the show out in just a second. We got one more thing. I think it's kind of exciting that we got through this. The NBA trade deadline week was up and down. It was a little bit of everywhere for everybody. Coach Joey was impacted. We find out now Bobby's impacted. Jay is impacted because the Trailblazers are winning. Allen's impacted because he doesn't even know that OKC got Daniel Tice. So that's going to be a good. But then they waived him, so they got rid of Daniel Tice out of nowhere. I thought they would keep him. Don't they need centers from time to time? And of course, my Celtics didn't do nothing, man. We just gonna keep it locked in. But right now, man, the last topic, you know how we do, man. Buzzer beater, yes, sir. You know how we do. We got that buzzer beater. We got to get it in, and we got to get it in fast. So today's buzzer beater is simple, fellas. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And we're going to say barring money exemptions and first aprons, second aprons, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? What is a trade that you would have made if you could put on your GM hat today and you could just move anybody? It could be your favorite team, not your favorite team. If you could move, or even a team that was supposed to make a move, because there was a couple that we thought were going to have transpired and didn't. What would you move and where? Let's go ahead and start at the top, Bobby. You want to get rid of somebody else on the Cavs? You want to get them out of here?
I mean, if I had my way, I would swap Darius Garland for Cade Cunningham.
Wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
I don't dislike Darius Garland. I'm just not a fan of a backcourt of two guys.
You just like people scoring 50 points. That's
no, because Darius scored 50 points. Like there's a very good guard. I can't have both of my guards 6'3" or under. Like I need one to be 6'5" or taller. And so yeah, I've never been a fan of the double small, quote unquote small backcourt. So I need one to be bigger,
Definitely.
So that's the only reason.
Right. Well, I'm about to say the only time I can think of it like being successful
is the Pistons.
The Pistons but old school, Rip and Chauncey, or I was thinking about Coutinho Mobley and Steve Francis. What name?
Rip Hamilton, 6'7".
Yeah, Rip was not short.
He ain't short.
Yeah, he just walked that way.
Yeah,
he walked. For real, I know dudes like that. They were tall, but they had a long neck, and they lean over and just look like 6'4", but they really 6'6".
Yeah,
6'7".
Or maybe he just ran around so many screens. He was running around big guy, so you thought he was smaller.
Yo, Rip was definitely one of them cats, man. Jay, you back in the building. You know what I'm saying? Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Man, I hate to take this out of put this out of what it really is, but man, I'm sorry to say it here, but kudos to my team for not making a move, man. This is a move. This is a situation where you could have easily blew up what we had and got rid of the wrong guy. I think it is best to probably assess this at off season, probably let somebody go, buy somebody out. But I like the fact that we did not make a move. Like I'm with it. I'm with it. I like what it was. It's not buying, it's not selling, it's not doing anything. I just like the way that we kept everything the way it was.
Yeah, man, dog. Listen, that's a coulda. They could have blew it up. They didn't. So yeah, that definitely fits the mold. What my man DJ say? We just steal. We just steal. AP, you there? You got a shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah, if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I find a way to get ready to mortgage for my future. I would have found a way to get Kevin Durant out of Phoenix and to try to get as much what I could
No shit.
uh, to mortgage the future that I could. Because let's be honest, they have nothing to look forward to the next few years. They have no draft picks until 2030, 2031, whatever it is. They have no point guard still, as Bobby continues to bring up. It has not worked. You know you're outmatched by the teams that you already had to deal with in teams like the Lakers and teams like the Denver Nuggets. But now you have young teams like the Houston Rockets. Memphis is back now that Ja's healthy, and of course Oklahoma City that you can't even get past. And now you've got another team who we talked about tonight in the San Antonio Spurs who just got better. Teams are getting better around you. It's time to start building for the future. And unfortunately, right now, the Suns do not have anything to mortgage for their future, which is why I felt like they should have moved off at least one or if not two of their big stars.
Well, hey, look, you got a point, man. When you got no picks because you gave them all up for KD, you got to bust a move, man. So that's a great shoulda, coulda, woulda. And mine, man, we're gonna shut it down after this game. I was hearing a lot of whispers about this player and the possibility of him being moved, but they possibly could have did it, but they didn't do it, man. The champion Denver Nuggets. I heard that there was like crazy offers for MP4, but they didn't do it. And to a degree, I can see why. Michael Porter Jr. basically is second or third in leading scorer at just about any given time during the season. When it comes time to get in the playoffs, he has showed up. He's gone out here, dropped 15, 28, 10, 11 rebounds. And this is going to be one of those years as we see the West starting to retool a little bit. This is definitely one of those seasons where somebody like Michael Porter Jr. is going to be extremely valuable to the Denver Nuggets franchise, especially when you get Crazy Russ, Uncle Jokic, and the boys, rolling. So big shouts out to Denver and their GM and their head of basketball operation for not getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. And Joe, thanks for bringing up that Kyle Kuzma trade too, because that was another one that.
Yeah. Let me
But
jump in there real quick with a couple of them for the shoulda, coulda, woulda, if you don't mind, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
In hindsight, before we acquired Mark Williams from Charlotte, I really wanted to Kessler Walker.
Walker Kessler, yeah.
Walker Kessler, excuse me, from Utah. Like that was the big man I was honing in on. I know we was trending Utah crazy trades. Danny Ainge was turning them down for him, saying, "Hey, he's not on the block." So I'm kind of glad on the back end we finessed him. With the Luka, he was a part of that. That's like something over his head for a little while. That was one of them. It would have been nice. So when Jimmy wasn't going to Phoenix, and we all know that Bill was like, "No, I'm not waiving this no trade clause." It was crazy to me that they was trying to trade KD. Like, why would you even be wanting to do that? But when it was marketing KD ultimately was saying that I guess he was trying to get to Miami, and if it wasn't Miami, he wasn't interested. It would have been nice to see KD on a team like the Rockets, though, like a team kind of full of a bunch of young talent. You got a vet like Van Vliet, but if you got that star player who's a championship caliber player, who's won championships, who's been NBA Finals MVP multiple times, it would have been nice to see them acquire that and for them to have that on their team while they're making this playoff run. It would have also been nice if KD, and I know Allen probably not going to, but it would have been nice if KD would have got traded back to OKC somehow.
Oh man,
and being reunited, and then he can go off and retire to the sunset as OKC mend the fence with the fans. I know it's been talk, hey, the fans wouldn't accept him. The fans was going to accept him if he gets traded back and welcome him back. It would have been nice if that would have happened as well. So that's a couple of shoulda, coulda, wouldas from my opinion, my point of view.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
yeah, about a good 25% of the fans would have probably accepted him back. There's a lot of people that despise Kevin Durant with a burning passion in the city of Oklahoma City right now.
Mhm.
Like,
Very
Till the playoffs started.
Anytime you mention Kevin Durant's name to some people here, they start gagging. That's how bad it is.
He hit a game winner in the playoffs. All is forgiven.
Yeah, he ain't got hit. Just make as soon as they get to the playoffs, they love him because you put Durant on that Thunder team. I'm sorry that's
It's
it ain't a Golden State lock, but that's just, you don't want to play them.
It would have just been like, what would they have given up? Because OKC probably got the best young talent all together, like from top to bottom. So what they would have had to give up,
they would have had to give up one of them.
And we got like 30 draft picks for the next 4 years too. So
it would definitely
wanted at least one
of those first round
players, So.
Yeah, it had to be a salary thing. You'd have at least give up Jay Will and 2 picks.
Mm-hmm. Jay Will, 2 picks, and then a pick swap if you don't get over 500, or if you do get over 500 or something like that. That probably would be what it was. Fellas, man, look, we did it, man. We going up to the third hour. Every sports network has a trade deadline show, and this was ours, man. So I think we did a great job. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody showing up and showing out with their opinions. I appreciate the comment section. I appreciate everybody got in on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. This was great. I love it. I can't wait to see what comes about within the next week, because next week we will be covering the All-Star game in this new format where somehow, some way, we got Kenny, Shaq, and Charles picking teams, and it's 3 teams and not 4. They're gonna play a round robin style tournament of basketball some kind of way. I really don't know.
The 4th team going to be whoever wins out of the Shooting Stars Challenge. That team going to be managed by Candace Parker. I think that's
which is one of those things where, once again, Joey, somehow, some way, we didn't know that.
Look, East West Classic, East West. It's an easy fix, and the All-Star game just frustrating me. I'm sorry, I can get like
it's an easy fix, but the point is they gotta put some money. You put some money in the in-season tournament at the beginning, and then they played hard. Put some money.
Gotta do that. Do this. East West All-Stars, how it was. East represented, West represented. Whoever wins the All-Star game, no matter the record, if the East wins, the East has home court advantage in the finals.
Baseball. Yeah.
They will be playing hard as hell the whole game. That's an easy fix for the All-Star game.
Yeah, that baseball style rules. Definitely.
And like a $2 million cash payout to the slam dunk contest winner, because why is Zion, why is Ja, why is Ant not in my dunk contest? It's crazy.
Which is kind of funny because baseball got rid of the home field advantage rule in the All-Star game, in their All-Star game.
Look at this.
They All-Star rules is jacked up,
man. So it sounds like we got half the show already picked out for next week, boys. So check this out. We got it going on right now, man. It's your boy K-Whit, Mama's #1 draft pick. We got Coach.
Hey, which All-Star game is the worst? How about that?
We got Allen trying to talk some more. And we got Jay the MIC, man. I think this was great. We got to come back next week and discuss all of these All-Star game rumors, picks, and draft picks, and pretty much break down how we got to this point where the All-Star game isn't even recognizable anymore. But for the whole team, for Jay, for Allen, and for Bobby, and for Coach Joey, this is your boy K-Whit, man. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Rec Room group of podcasts. This was the In the Hoop trade deadline special, and we out. Oh, hit the button.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Peace.